Chapter 51. Zeno sat down on the ground, breathing heavily, his face becoming extremely ugly. Just now, Zeno clearly felt as if he had turned into a cookie. And then, I was almost eaten by this fat guy. I am God. Did I let a human bully me like this? Bang! Majin Buu fired a big kick at Zeno. Before Zeno could react, his body drew an arc and fell out of the ring, being eliminated. Swish! Zeno flashed and appeared on the stands. Damn it! I actually lost to that guy. Zeno was very angry. Zeno, I overestimated you. She said coldly. Why are there such powerful humans? Zeno became increasingly unhappy. There are always all kinds of humans in this universe. Through their own hard work and practice, they have reached a very high level, even surpassing God. She replied calmly, so, there is nothing to be surprised about. Zeno fell silent. Damn humans! Now I can't be the gods of destruction anymore. I wonder if I can still become Whis' disciple after I go back? In the second match of the semi-finals, the Buu player from Universe 7 won. Grand Priest announced with a smile, the Buu player can go to Lu Fan to get a can of Coke. Buu immediately ran to Lu Fan's side and stretched out his hand to ask for Coke. Bang! Lu Fan raised his hand, and a can of Coke appeared in his hand, which he handed to Buu. Buu took the Coke and was about to drink it when he suddenly thought of something. Would it taste better if you shake it? Buu asked innocently. Yeah. Lu Fan nodded. Buu shook the Coke bottle vigorously. The next moment, Buu opened the can. Before the carbon dioxide in the can exploded, Buu opened his mouth wide and wrapped the bottle mouth tightly. Puff! The cola in the can sprayed all over Buu's mouth. Buu swallowed it in big gulps. It's delicious indeed. Buu grinned. Do your best and win the next game, and you'll get a can of Coke, Lu Fan said with a smile. Yeah. Buu nodded vigorously. Beerus breathed a sigh of relief from a distance. This fat guy. His IQ is really worrying. But this fat guy is really lucky. I actually managed to make it to the final. Beerus, you'd better admit defeat as soon as possible. Although this fat man's ability is weird, he is no match for Hit at all. Kompa grinned at Beerus. Humph. Beerus just snorted without any further rebuttal. Beerus noticed it too. Majin Buu is powerful though. But compared with Hit, he is not on the same level at all. Hit's level should be about the same as Toppo. Majin Buu is at least 2 levels below both of them. It seems there is not much hope. But Beerus thinks that even if Majin Buu wins the final victory, if his character cannot be changed, I'm afraid the Grand Priest will not choose him as the gods of destruction of the new universe. Then let's move on to the finals. Grand Priest smiled. Hit from the 6th universe will face Buu from the 7th universe. Majin Buu and Hit jumped into the ring separately. The game begins, announced the Grand Priest. Great! If nothing unexpected happens, Hit will become the gods of destruction of the new universe. Kompa was excited. From now on, I can announce to the public that the gods of destruction of the new universe came from our 6th universe. This is the glory of our 6th universe. Master Kompa, don't be so happy too soon. Veto's side, the game hasn't started yet, and it's hard to say what the result will be. It's okay, Hit will definitely win. I can see it. How can you not see it? Kompa grinned. Kompa was so happy that he couldn't help patting Lu Fan on the shoulder. What do you think, kid? Kompa said with a smile. I won't tell you. Lu Fan said. Kompa. I'm afraid that if I tell you, it will hurt you. Lu Fan smiled. Hey, you mean, the fat guy will win? Kompa snorted. Aren't you the fat guy? Lord Kompa. Lu Fan said with a smile. Kompa's face darkened. This guy is becoming less and less respectful to me. Wait till you get back and see how I punish you. Buu, UBD. He didn't even let me taste the Coke I won. Beerus said through gritting his teeth. If Lord Beerus wants to drink Coke, can't we go to the 6th universe to drink it after the game? Whis lowered his voice and whispered to Beerus. That's so embarrassing. Beerus said, it's as if there's nothing good to drink in the 7th universe. Kompa will definitely make fun of me. Lord Beerus, don't you think that Mr. Lu Fan's identity is very special? Whis suddenly whispered. His identity is indeed special enough. The Grand Priest actually asked the winning contestant to get a drink from him. Could he be an apprentice angel? No, that's impossible. He is obviously a human, not an angel at all. Besides, there are no angels with this skin color, and he has a tail. Beerus muttered a few words under his breath. I can tell Lord Beerus responsibly that Mr. Lu Fan is indeed not an angel. Whis nodded. By the way, this guy seems to be Scion. Beerus murmured. Lord Beerus, it is said that the Scions in the 6th universe do not have tails. Whis smiled. Oh. Beerus was stunned. The Scions of the 6th universe evolved their tails away thousands of years ago, Whis explained. What do you mean? Beerus' heart moved and his eyes widened. You mean? Lu Fan is, he is, we. Yes, he should be the Scion from the 7th universe. Whis nodded. Are you kidding? How could the Scions from our universe end up in the 6th universe? It's impossible for humans to travel to other universes. Beerus suddenly had an idea and his face darkened. You mean, that Kompa guy stole our people to the 6th universe? I think it's very likely. Whis nodded. If he is really the Scion from the 7th universe, Lord Beerus might as well ask Frisia when he returns. Frisia pays more attention to Scion, so maybe he knows him. I feel like it's probably true. Beerus bared his teeth. This damn Kompa. He stole people from our universe while I was sleeping. Chapter 52. If Mr. Lu Fan is really from our universe, ask him for a bottle of Coke. Whis smiled. No problem. Beerus nodded. By the way, bring him back and ask him to make me Coke every day. Well, if the Coke tastes good. The battle in the ring has begun. Bang, bang, bang. Hit knocked Majin Buu to the ground with just 3 punches and 2 kicks. Majin Buu was stunned. Is this purple guy so powerful? I'm no match for him at all. Hey? Wait a moment. Why didn't I absorb him? If I absorb him, I might be able to defeat that cat. Majin Buu's eyes sparkled. Hit walked step by step towards the direction where the demon was. Okay, we're going to win. Kompa said excitedly. Vados declined to comment. Lu Fan also remained silent, staring at the ring silently. It's over. Hit stretched out his hand and aimed it at Majin Buu's body through the air. Majin Buu gritted his teeth and stood up tenaciously. Boom! A ball of powerful energy shot out from Hit's hand, directly covering Majin Buu's body. Majin Buu's body flew backwards uncontrollably at that moment. It looked like Majin Buu was about to fly out of the ring. Bang! Majin Buu suddenly transformed his body into an umbrella shape, slowing down his own speed. Swish! Majin Buu rushed into the sky. Swish, swish, swish. The next moment, the pink flesh on Majin Buu's body attacked Hit like a machine gun. Hit! Hit felt speechless. Your style of play is too weird. Hit easily dodged and avoided the attacks of these pink pieces of meat. However, just as Hit was about to counterattack, the pink pieces of meat that fell to the ground suddenly formed a big net, covering Hit in an instant. Hit's eyes widened. Bang! Majin Buu easily absorbed Hit. Majin Buu has transformed himself, and his fat face has become angular. Especially the tentacle on his head, which also had a crack in the middle, which was somewhat similar to Hit's head. What? Did this guy absorb Hit? Kompa held his fat head, feeling that his head was twice as big as his own, and said in a lost voice, that is to say, Hit was defeated by this guy. In the finals, Buu from the 7th universe wins. Grand Priest announced loudly with a smile on his face. But Grand Priest, Hit is dead. Buu broke the rules. Kompa said hurriedly. No, Mr. Hit is not dead, he is still in Mr. Buu's body. Grand Priest smiled. Kompa was speechless. Kompa held his head and wanted to bang his head against the wall. Did Hit just lose to this fat guy? This is too sad. Beerus also widened his eyes, never expecting such an outcome. Hitman from the 6th universe has an absolute advantage. I didn't expect this fat guy would have such a trick. Beerus was both surprised and delighted. Will Majin Buu become the gods of destruction in the new universe? But Beerus felt a little unhappy after the surprise. The problem is, this fat guy doesn't listen at all. Even if he becomes the gods of destruction, I feel like it would be of no use other than making my reputation sound better. Oh, and by the way, I also get 7 Super Dragon Balls. What wish should I make? Would you like a bottle of Coke? As for Coke, after the game is over, just bring that guy Lu Fan back to our 7th universe. There is no need to use Super Dragon Ball specifically to fulfill this wish. I'll think about it again. Beerus thought a lot at once. The gods of destruction from other universes were also a little surprised. No one expected this result. Hit was actually absorbed by this guy called Majin Buu. After absorbing Hit, Majin Buu flashed and quickly appeared next to Lu Fan. Hey, Coke tastes great. From today on, you will be my follower. Buu said to Lu Fan with a smile. After absorbing Hit, Majin Buu's language expression ability is much better than before. The logic is also clearer. Give me a bottle of Coke first. Buu ordered, holding out his hand. All the gods present were speechless again. You absorbed that guy named Hit just to ask Lu Fan for a Coke? Especially the many angels, they covered their faces with their hands, speechless. Your train of thought is really out of this world. Lu Fan looked at Buu with a smile. Hurry up, if you delay any longer, I will turn you into Coke. Buu urged. Beerus. Beerus was so angry that his teeth were itching. You fat BD. You actually threatened Lu Fan there. Didn't you see that Grand Priest was still there? How can you take over as the gods of destruction of the new universe like this? Call out. Beerus quickly turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the direction where Buu was. Beerus wants to subdue Buu to stop him from jumping around here. Hey, kid, are you mute? I'm talking to you. Buu got a little angry when he saw that Lu Fan didn't respond. Lu Fan grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Then, Lu Fan stretched out his hand, and there was nothing in it, and it appeared in front of Buu. Do you see what this is? Lu Fan smiled. What? Where's the Coke? When Buu found that Lu Fan didn't have a Coke in his hand, he frowned and was a little unhappy. No Coke, only a slap, do you want one? Lu Fan asked. Slap? Is it delicious? Buu was stunned, thinking it was food. It's delicious, I'll give it to you right away. Lu Fan grinned and slapped him. Bang! Buu was slapped hard in the face by Lu Fan. Buu's face was severely deformed, and his body flew backwards and hit Beerus, who was flying over. Beerus froze for a second. Beerus never expected that Majin Buu, who had absorbed Hit, would be slapped away by that guy named Lu Fan. Bang! Beerus' tail swept lightly behind him and hit Majin Buu on the spot. Boom! Majin Buu hit the ground of the ring below like a cannonball. The next moment, Majin Buu's head tilted and he fainted. Are you okay? Lu Fan. Beerus flew up and said to Lu Fan with concern. You should be concerned about Buu. Lu Fan smiled. Chapter 53. Ha ha ha, that guy doesn't know what's good for him. I knocked him out. Beerus laughed dryly. By you. Lu Fan was stunned. It's not important. Beerus nodded without thinking much about it. Yeah, thank you. Lu Fan thanked with a smile. Whis, quickly make this guy spit out Hittite. Beerus immediately called out to Whis. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis came quickly and flashed the crystal ball on the scepter in his hand towards Majin Buu. Bang! A beam of light as bright as a star quickly covered Majin Buu's body. Suddenly, a person emerged from Majin Buu's body out of thin air. Hit and Majin Buu's bodies separated. Bang! The crystal ball on the scepter in Whis's hand separated another ray of light, covering Hit's body. Hit slowly opened his eyes, immediately jumped up from the ground, and quickly distanced himself from Majin Buu. Cold sweat broke out on Hit's face, he was gasping for breath, and his face became extremely ugly. I seem to be absorbed by this guy. How careless. A hint of murderous intent also appeared in Hit's eyes. This fat guy. I'm going to kill you. But Hit finally held back. There are so many gods here. I'd better not act rashly. At this time, Majin Buu was still lying there. Whis didn't revive him. The angels present also sighed slightly. This is how the game ended. I don't know who the Grand Priest will choose to be the gods of destruction of the new universe. Although Mr. Buu is very powerful, his personality makes him unsuitable for being the gods of destruction. Moreover, many angels were surprised. That slap from Lu Fan just now. So, this election for the new universe gods of destruction has come to an end. Who will become the gods of destruction of the new universe? the Grand Priest announced loudly while floating high in the sky. As for what happened just now, Grand Priest just watched silently from the side without expressing any opinions or comments. The gods all listened attentively. Let me think about it carefully, then give you an answer and decide on the final candidate. Grand Priest was silent for a few seconds and spoke slowly. Angels. Gods of destruction. We need to discuss this before giving an answer. We thought we had decided on the new universe's gods of destruction by now. But the gods knew clearly. I'm afraid there's no hope for Bu in the 7th universe. Now, I will teleport everyone back. Grand Priest said with a smile. Swish. As the Grand Priest spoke, he spread his arms and invisible divine power emerged from his hands. Oink oink. All of a sudden, everyone present disappeared from the spot. Even Majin Bu on the ring disappeared. The 7th universe, the planet Beerus. Swish. In just a blink of an eye, Whis, Beerus, and Bu were teleported back. Bu was still unconscious. Whis sighed slightly. Beerus turned around and glared at Majin Bu, then walked up and kicked him hard. This idiot! Majin Bu rubbed his eyes with a confused look on his face and woke up. Immediately afterwards, Bu jumped up from the ground, looked around, with endless confusion in his eyes. Where am I? It seems to be back again. I feel my strength weakening. Bu looked down at his body and touched his face. Am I changed again? Didn't I absorb that guy called Hit? You idiot! Since you won the game. Just stand there honestly. Why did you have to run to Lu Fan to ask for coke? Beerus shouted angrily, spitting all over Bu's face. Bu! I want to drink. Bu said. Idiot! If you want to drink coke, why don't you drink it any other way? Why do you have to threaten Lu Fan? Beerus was so angry that smoke came out of his nostrils. If you do that, I'm afraid you will lose the final qualification of Gods of Destruction. Bu's mind was already spinning. Does my desire to drink coke have anything to do with my role as Gods of Destruction? Forget it, there's no point in saying this now. Beerus gritted his teeth, just stay in the Gods of Destruction world and wait for the final result. You'd better pray that you can become the Gods of Destruction, otherwise I will seal you in that egg again. Bu's eyes widened, his face showing shock. Can this guy seal me in again? Should I take this opportunity to run away? I want to leave his planet. Also, don't even think about running away. You are not allowed to go anywhere until the results come out. Beerus stepped forward and grabbed Majin Bu's collar, threatening, if you don't obey. Call out. Beerus said, flicking his hand lightly, and a beam of destructive energy whizzed towards a star in the sky. Bang! The star shattered at that moment and turned into ashes, leaving nothing behind. The sky suddenly darkened. The temperature on the planet suddenly dropped a lot. See? You are nothing in my eyes. If I want to destroy you, it's as easy as crushing an ant. Beerus snorted. Bu's eyes widened and his face turned pale. Bu knew clearly the gap between himself and this cat. Get out of my way. Beerus became angrier and kicked Majin Bu away with another kick. What kind of coke do you want? If you don't do anything extra, you might actually become the Gods of Destruction. Whis, who do you think Grand Priest will choose to be the Gods of Destruction? Beerus gradually calmed down and turned to ask Whis. I don't know either, but Mr. Bu's chance of being selected as the Gods of Destruction is probably only 10%. Whis sighed slightly. I knew this would be the result, but having a 10% chance is better than having no hope at all. Beerus nodded. If Mr. Bu is really elected as the new universe Gods of Destruction, was it appropriate for Lord Beerus to treat him like that just now? Whis said with a smile. What's inappropriate about that? I just want to gain some fame. Beerus snorted. From now on, I can announce that the Gods of Destruction of the new universe came from our 7th universe. As for that guy, if he dares to talk to me in the future, I'll show you how I'll deal with him. It's still a long way to go before he can surpass me. Haha, Lord Beerus is right. Whis nodded. Hey, prophecy fish, come here. Beerus shouted at the lake in the distance. There was no reaction in the lake. Prophecy fish. Where are you? Beerus shouted at the top of his voice. Lord Beerus, you should ask, where are your fish? Whis said with a smile. Beerus' face darkened instantly. You are the only one who talks too much. Is this important? Chapter 54. Here I come. Call out. As a voice sounded, the prophecy fish flew over with the fish bowl and appeared next to Beerus and Whis. What happened to Lord Beerus? The prophecy fish asked curiously. Why do you feel so aggressive, like you're having your period? Bang! Beerus slapped the prophecy fish to the ground, and the fish tank was overturned. Prophecy fish! I was just joking, Lord Beerus, you really have no sense of humor. The prophecy fish picked up his fish tank and jumped in, flying again. Stop talking nonsense. Aren't you a prophetic fish? Can you predict who the gods of destruction will be in the new universe? Beerus said. Well, you asked me to predict. The prophetic fish wiped the sweat off his face. Hurry up and tell me, I still need to sleep. Beerus said unhappily, you woke me up in the middle of the night, I still need to go back to sleep. I don't know who the new universe gods of destruction will be, and I can't predict it. The prophecy fish shook his head and said, but I have another prediction. That is, the new universe gods of destruction will be the people who leave our seventh universe. What? The gods of destruction of the new universe are from our seventh universe. Beerus was a little overjoyed. Yes, this is my prediction. The prophecy fish nodded. Although the predictions of the prophecy fish are often inaccurate. Whis covered his mouth and laughed. Whis, that's disgusting. The prophecy fish looked unhappy. Although it's not accurate, but your words make me feel much better. Beerus said with a smile. Are you praising me? The prophetic fish wiped the sweat off his face. By the way Whis, there is one very important thing I need to do before I go to bed. Beerus said. What is it? Whis asked. I'm going to the sixth universe. I haven't had a Coke yet. Beerus groaned, if that guy named Lu Fan is really from our seventh universe, I must bring him back. Compa is ABD. He actually stole people from our universe. Do you want to contact Mr. Frisia first? Whis asked. You're right, let's contact Frisia first. Beerus nodded. Beerus is not sure whether Lu Fan is from the seventh universe. If not, it would be embarrassing enough to go. Okay. Whis replied with a smile. Seventh universe, East. Cooler is on a video call with Frisia. Frisia, we agreed on half an hour. How long has it been? Why hasn't Lord Beerus come yet? Cooler waited until the flowers wilted, then said with a dark face, are you kidding me? Why would I lie to you? Frisia bared his teeth and shouted angrily. It's been a whole day and Lord Beerus hasn't come yet. Aren't you still saying that you're lying to me? Cooler said coldly. Perhaps, Master Beerus is lost. Frisia mused. Cooler. God, I'm lost. He is the gods of destruction, can he get lost? Hey? Lord Beerus. Frisia was talking when he suddenly heard a voice in his mind. The voice was none other than Beerus's. Frisia, it's me. Beerus spoke through Wiss's scepter. Lord Beerus, are you lost? Cooler is waiting for you on the planet. Frisia said to Beerus in front of Cooler. Cooler? Who is that? Beerus was stunned. Cooler. Cooler wanted to cry. Who am I? Lord Beerus, don't you remember me? Cooler is Frisia's brother. He promised Mr. Frisia that he would take his brother to run for gods of destruction. Whis whispered. I remember now. Let's put the matter of the new universe gods of destruction aside for now. Beerus had no intention of explaining to Frisia. What's there to explain to a tiny shrimp? Let it go for a while. Frisia was stunned. It seems my plan to become a real estate developer in the new universe has failed. Frisia, let me ask you, did you destroy planet Vegeta? Beerus asked directly. Hey. Frisia was a little confused. Didn't you ask me to destroy planet Vegeta? You praised me before. They said I destroyed the planet with great force. Why are you questioning me again now? Frisia didn't understand what Beerus meant. Of course, Frisia didn't dare to say that it was Beerus who asked him to destroy planet Vegeta. Then do you know, how many scions are left? Beerus asked a different question. Well. I don't think there are many I know. Frisia replied truthfully. Who are they? Beerus asked. Frisia was stunned again. Who are they? How do you want me to answer this? Fortunately, I know most of their names. Yes. Vegeta, he is the Scion Prince. Frisia replied immediately. Vegeta? Is it Vegeta 4? Beerus nodded slightly and pondered. Yes, fourth, Frisia responded. I've seen him. Beerus replied, when I met Vegeta 3, Vegeta 4 was less than 1 meter tall. Well, he's not that tall now, only about 1.1 meters, haha, he's only grown 10 centimeters in the past 3 years. Frisia said with a smile, he shouldn't be able to grow taller. Beerus. What do you mean by height? It sounds like I'm willing to listen. What else? Who else? Beerus had no interest in Vegeta. There is also a lower-ranking warrior named Raditz. Frisia continued. Go on, say it all at once, and don't make me ask any more questions. Beerus urged. Yes. Lord Beerus. Frisia responded immediately, and Nappa, he's a top warrior, a bald guy. Currently Vegeta is with the two of them, working for me. Anything else? Beerus had no interest in these people. No more. Frisia wiped the sweat off his face. No more. Beerus was stunned. Isn't Lu Fan the scion from our 7th universe? Mr. Frisia, please think carefully about whether there are other scions. Whis took over the conversation and asked. Now I remember there's one more. Frisia's eyes lit up. Who? Beerus was excited. This time it should be that guy Lu Fan, right? There is another one. I don't know his name. When he was 3 years old, he was sent to a planet called Earth by Scion. Frisia replied. Earth. Beerus muttered these 2 words, then glanced at the rather annoying Majin Buu in the distance. This stuff comes from the Earth. Chapter 55. Yes, he was probably sent to Earth. Frisia replied, his combat power was only 2, so I left him alone. Don't know your name? How old are you now? Beerus asked. I think I'm about 6 years old now. Frisia replied. Whis shook his head. It shouldn't be Lu Fan. No more. Beerus nodded, and he also felt that it was not like Lu Fan. It seems to be gone. Frisia scratched his head. After all, Frisia didn't remember these scions very well. Planet Vegeta has been destroyed anyway. Just focus on Vegeta, the most powerful one. As for others, let the wind take you. Let me ask you, is there a scion named Lu Fan? Beerus couldn't help it and shouted at Frisia. Lu Fan. Frisia was a little confused. Whis sighed softly beside him. It would have been better if you had just asked this directly. The Lu Fan that Lord Beerus mentioned, could it be that Vegeta's sparring partner? Frisia replied immediately after a brief pause. Vegeta's sparring partner? You mean a follower, right? Beerus was a little confused. Yes, he is Vegeta's sparring partner. Vegeta always takes him with him when he practices. Frisia replied carefully, this guy's combat power is quite interesting. When he was 4 years old, his combat power reached 10,000. However, his combat power gradually declined in the following years. I don't know what went wrong. Oh? What happened next? Beerus asked again. Later, I went to the gourmet planet and sold drinks there with Vegeta. Frisia explained. What? Selling drinks? What drinks? Beerus had an idea. No more running. It must be this Lu Fan. It seems to be a special drink called Coke. It is said to be quite delicious, but I haven't tried it. Frisia replied. What happened next? Beerus asked excitedly. And then? One day, for some unknown reason, he suddenly disappeared. Frisia replied, this guy is so wicked. He has the ability to produce a lot of Coke, but he only sells 1,000 bottles a day. I think he must have been secretly beaten to death. Beerus. Beerus can now be sure and certain that Lu Fan is the scion of his universe. Disappeared suddenly? This was taken away by Vados and Kampa. These 2 shameless guys. Stealing people from our universe. Lord Beerus, why do you ask? Frisia asked curiously. You don't need to know that. Beerus snorted. Frisia. There was a brief silence. By the way, Master Beerus, I created a gourmet planet especially for you. Frisia said cautiously. Let's talk about it later. Beerus replied calmly and told Whis to end the call. Bang. The call was disconnected. Frisia. Frisia scratched his head. What on earth does Lord Beerus mean? Is he looking for Lu Fan? What's the point of looking for Lu Fan? Is it just for a bottle of Coke? Frisia was a little confused. Cooler was also speechless on the other side of the screen. I was also thinking that I could become the gods of destruction of the new universe. The dream was shattered. Beerus had an angry look on his face after he had Whis disconnect the call. Damn Compa! Stealing people from our universe. He is so shameless. Beerus gnashed his teeth in hatred. As for the gourmet planet that Frisia mentioned, Beerus actually went there once. The food on this planet is more or less acceptable. Beerus was still very happy about this. Otherwise Beerus wouldn't have gone out of his way to praise Frisia before. Are we going to get Mr. Lu Fan back? Whis asked. First, ask for a bottle of Coke to try. If it tastes good, bring him back and ask him to make Coke for me every day. Beerus grinned, revealing a row of white teeth. Okay, Master Beerus. Whis nodded and asked, shall we set off now? I don't know why, but I always feel that this fat guy is an eyesore here. Beerus glanced at Majin Buu in the distance. Whis sighed and said nothing more. Swish! Beerus just flashed and quickly appeared behind Majin Buu. Majin Buu didn't even sense Beerus appearing behind him. Buu just felt a chill on his back. Bang! Beerus slapped him. Majin Buu fell limply to the ground and fainted on the spot. Let this fat guy get some sleep first, lest he mess around here after we leave, Beerus said. Lord Beerus, are you going to the 6th universe? Asked the prophecy fish. That's right, prophecy fish, you stay and look after the house. Beerus ordered. Okay, leave it to me. The prophecy fish nodded, but hesitated to speak. What did you mean? The prophecy fish? Beerus asked. I just got a new prediction. Cold sweat rolled down the face of the prophecy fish. Forget it, your predictions have never been right. Beerus snorted, Whis, don't worry about him, let's go. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded, also hesitant to speak. Whis, what do you want to say again? Beerus asked. What I want to say is that Mr. Lu Fan's strength is not simple. Whis smiled. What? Are you trying to say that he is the super scion that Frisia fears? Beerus smiled softly, how ridiculous. I am the gods of destruction, what is a super scion? Okay, just pretend I didn't say anything. Whis didn't bother with Beerus. Actually what Whis wanted to say to Beerus was. The slap that Lu Fan had given Majin Buu in the face before had already knocked him unconscious. It wasn't Beerus's tail that made him dizzy. Knock. Whis tapped the scepter in his hand lightly on the ground. The scepter was covered with flickering flames, which quickly covered Beerus and Whis. Call out. The two of them sank into the void in an instant and soon disappeared without a trace. The prophecy fish looked up at the direction where the two people disappeared and sighed slightly. I feel my prediction this time is very accurate. Lord Beerus, please take it easy. I predict that after a few years, a terrible gods of destruction will be born. The 6th universe, the planet Compa. Compa looked at Hit with a dark face. You idiot! Why did you lose to that fat guy? Compa said angrily, with your strength, you can easily crush that fat guy. Hit lowered his head and said nothing. If you lose, you lose. Chapter 56. Hit also admitted that he was indeed careless. Hit never expected that the fat man could absorb people. Speaking of fat people. Lord Gods of Destruction, you don't seem to be fat. Of course, Hit was just thinking about it in his mind and didn't dare to say it out loud. Lu Fan, get me a bottle of lemon-flavored Coke. Let me calm down my anger. Compa shouted. However, after the words fell, there was no reaction at the scene. Lu Fan. I'm talking to you. Compa shouted again. Then. Compa looked around for Lu Fan. Where are the people? Why aren't you here? Vados, where is Lu Fan? Compa was stunned. Not coming back. Vados sighed. You just realized that one person is missing. Didn't come back? What do you mean? Compa was stunned and said in a lost voice, did he stay in the world of nothingness? It seems that Grand Priest left him alone. Vados murmured. What did you say? You said Grand Priest left Lu Fan alone. Compa exclaimed. Yeah, that should be the case. Vados smiled. You mean, Grand Priest wants to keep him by his side and make Coke for him, right? Compa suddenly understood. leading. Vados wiped the sweat off his face vigorously. What's your train of thought? Grand Priest, what you did is a bit. Kampa didn't dare to say the rest. Are you trying to say that Grand Priest is not kind? Vados asked with a smile. No. Absolutely not. I mean it's wise for Grand Priest to do this, Wakakaka. Kampa laughed awkwardly. The 10th universe, the Supreme Kai world. Kes and Rumsshi returned here with Zamasu. What's going on? Lord Rumsshi. It seems that Zamasu was not selected. Hvas asked with a smile. Rumsshi did not answer. Zamasu hung his head, sullen. That damn fat guy turned me into a chocolate chip cookie. Can't I, a great god, defeat such a guy? Foolish humans, I will make you pay the price one day. It's okay. There are so many universes, and each universe has very outstanding and powerful humans. If you know your shortcomings and practice hard, you may be able to make up for your own shortcomings. Gervis comforted, and smiled at Zamasu. Zamasu, do you still want to be a Supreme Kai? Is it okay? Zamasu's eyes lit up. Of course you can. I told you before that there is no way out because I wanted you to compete well. Gervis smiled and said, since you have already lost the game, then come back and be a Supreme Kai well. Yes, Lord Supreme Kai. Zamasu was delighted. Kes sighed. Rumsshi frowned and hesitated to speak. Zamasu, go make us a cup of tea. Kvas saw through it and ordered Zamasu. Zamasu bowed and ran to the inner room to get the tea set. Lord Rumsshi, you seem to have something to say just now. Is it because of Zamasu? Asked Gervasi. Kvas, I can't control your Supreme Kai affairs, nor do I want to. Rumsshi groaned, but this guy Zamasu, if you really want him to be the Supreme Kai, you'd better test his character. Hey? What's wrong with his character? Is there a problem? Jivas was stunned. Go and see for yourself. Rumsshi didn't say much. Okay, I'll pay attention. Gervis nodded slightly. Well, let's go. Rumsshi called to Kessie. Would you like to stay for a cup of tea? Asked Gervis. No need. After Rumsshi said this, he and Kes turned into a stream of light and quickly sank into the void, disappearing without a trace. Zamasu soon came out with the tea set. Where are they? Lord Supreme Kai. Zamasu was stunned. I left because of something. Gervis looked up at the sky. I lost the election for Gods of Destruction. Gods of Destruction must be very angry. Zamasu sighed. Yes, but as a Kai King, you are not suitable to be the Gods of Destruction. You should just be a Supreme Kai in the future. Gervis sighed, I will train you to be an outstanding Supreme Kai. Yes. Lord Supreme Kai. Zamasu saluted hastily. Universe 11, Planet Vermit. I'm sorry, Lord Vermit, I've embarrassed you. Topo knelt on the ground and said with a guilty look on his face. Forget it. You will become the Gods of Destruction sooner or later anyway. Vermit stepped forward and patted Topo on the shoulder. If you really become the Gods of Destruction of the new universe, I will have to choose a new successor in the 11th universe. Topo didn't respond. Don't take it to heart. It's possible that you won't be able to become the Gods of Destruction in the new universe. Vermit consoled him. Lord Vermit, I will practice hard. I will never embarrass you again. Topo responded solemnly. The Realm of Nothingness. Gods of Destruction campaign stage, above. Grand Priest just floated there, looking down at Lu Fan in the stands. Lu Fan. Lu Fan felt a little panicked. You are so. What do you mean by leaving me alone? Do you want to steal my coke? Ahem, Grand Priest, I have as much coke as you can have. Lu Fan grinned, but he looked very calm on the surface. No need. Grand Priest smiled and slowly landed in front of Lu Fan from the air. Grand Priest left me alone, did he want to marry Vados to me? Lu Fan muttered. Grand Priest. Grand Priest's face darkened instantly. You're already thinking about my daughter? This guy doesn't play by the rules. Lu Fan, do you want to become the Gods of Destruction of the new universe? Grand Priest did not respond, but asked directly, I know that you have a powerful destructive energy hidden in you. With your current strength, if you participated in the competition just now, you can easily crush everyone present. You figured it out. Lu Fan scratched his head. Moreover, Your cultivation of your character far exceeds that of all the candidates. Even Mr. Topo's character is far inferior to yours. Grand Priest commented. Yeah, I feel the same way. Lu Fan nodded in acknowledgement. Grand Priest. This kid really doesn't know how to be humble. How about it? Gods of destruction of the new universe, would you consider it? Grand Priest said with a smile. Grand Priest, you're putting me in such a difficult position. Lu Fan sighed. What do you mean? Grand Priest was stunned. If I ask you to be the gods of destruction of the new universe, would you still feel embarrassed? It is not at all difficult for you to marry my daughter. Chapter 57. The lives of gods of destruction and Supreme Kai are shared, right? Lu Fan asked. I see. You are worried that if Supreme Kai dies, you will disappear as well, right? Grand Priest quickly understood Lu Fan's thoughts. Yeah, you really understand me, Grand Priest. Lu Fan nodded vigorously. Are you going to give up your candidacy for the new universe gods of destruction just for this? Grand Priest was speechless. Grand Priest, think about it. I was at home happily dating Vados, but Supreme Kai died and I disappeared with him. How sad Vados would be. Lu Fan said in a deep voice. Grand Priest. Goddamn Vados is sad. Can this involve my daughter? You can learn from Beerus and ask him how he does it when you have time. Grand Priest said with a smile. Seal the old Supreme Kai into the magic sword. Lu Fan was stunned. Grand Priest, you are so dark. You know everything. Grand Priest was slightly startled, then nodded and said, yes, this method is also more feasible. Besides, there are several Supreme Kai whose lives are bound to the gods of destruction. As long as one Supreme Kai is still alive, the gods of destruction will not disappear. That's dangerous too. If I meet a Supreme Kai like the one from the 7th universe, I might end up killing myself one day. Lu Fan shook his head. Grand Priest was stunned for 2 seconds again. It's your own fault? It's not impossible to let me serve as the gods of destruction of the new universe and cancel the life bond between me and Supreme Kai. Lu Fan said, or, I can condense an avatar for myself and let my avatar be the Supreme Kai. Grand Priest. It's as if I'm begging you to be the gods of destruction of the new universe. In fact, there is a god of destruction who does not need to be bound to the Supreme Kai in life. Grand Priest suddenly said. Which universe? Lu Fan was stunned. The entire universe. Grand Priest replied with 3 words. The gods of destruction of the entire universe? The leader of the gods of destruction. Lu Fan was slightly stunned. Yes, we call them the great gods of destruction. Grand Priest nodded. Great gods of destruction. Lu Fan pondered. You picked this name so casually. The great gods of destruction all appeared. I don't know if there is a big angel or a big Zeno. And the great gods of destruction are equal to me in status, the Grand Priest added, even higher than me at times. Lu Fan's eyes lit up. Compared to Master Zeno? Lu Fan asked, are we also equals? Almost. In fact, the great gods of destruction are the gods who control the entire space and time. Grand Priest smiled and said, time and space, you understand it, right? I understand a little bit. Lu Fan nodded, it's just a series of timelines. That's right. Grand Priest nodded. Lu Fan looked expectant. How about it? Are you interested in the throne of the great gods of destruction? Grand Priest looked at Lu Fan with a smile. Yeah, that's good. Lu Fan nodded vigorously, this throne is prepared for me. Grand Priest. You are so shameless. You wish. The throne of the great gods of destruction is only held out to tempt you. The Grand Priest smiled. Lu Fan. Grand Priest, you are so petty. Don't I just want to not be the gods of destruction of the new universe? Are you going to tempt me with the throne of the great gods of destruction? If you want to become the great gods of destruction, the first thing you need to do is become the gods of destruction of the new universe. Grand Priest said with a smile. Lu Fan wipes his sweat. Going around and coming back again. Do you really want me to be the gods of destruction of the new universe? Only when you become the gods of destruction of the new universe, and when your strength reaches a certain level and you can defeat the gods of destruction of 12 universes in an instant, will you be qualified to become the grand gods of destruction. The Grand Priest's expression became serious. Of course, whether you want to become the gods of destruction of the new universe is up to you. It cannot be forced. I know that a forced melon is not sweet, so I feel the same way about Vados. Lu Fan nodded in agreement. Grand Priest. Take over the new universe gods of destruction. As long as you manage the new universe well, I can promise you that I will let you choose one of my daughters as your wife. Grand Priest pondered, only if the angel you choose agrees. You should know that marriage is a matter of mutual consent, right? Little guy, I can't cure you. Do you think my daughter would agree? Your daughter doesn't agree. Do you still want to get married? You are absolutely right, father-in-law. Lu Fan nodded vigorously. Grand Priest. Grand Priest's face darkened instantly. Who is your father-in-law? You are really good at using connections to get through the back door. So, you agree? Grand Priest asked with a dark face. I also want to be Supreme Kai. Lu Fan added. Your clone may be allowed to take over the position of Supreme Kai of the new universe for a period of 3 years. If it is not suitable, said the Grand Priest. If it's not suitable, I'll just quit. Lu Fan responded as a matter of course. Okay, it's a deal. Grand Priest nodded in agreement. There was a brief silence. But then again, according to your scion age, you are only 8 years old now? Do you want to get married at such a young age? Grand Priest sighed. Age is not a problem. Lu Fan said with a smile, let's settle it first. I'll get married and have children when I'm an adult. Whatever you want. Grand Priest shook his head, not wanting to dwell on the matter any longer, and asked, now I'll take you to see the new universe. Okay, thank you, father-in-law. Lu Fan bowed respectfully. Grand Priest. I strongly doubt that you bowed because of the title of father-in-law. And not because of my status as a Grand Priest. This guy is interesting. Swish. Grand Priest's figure flashed, and he immediately disappeared with Lu Fan. In just a moment, Grand Priest appeared in the new universe with Lu Fan. There is almost no big difference between the new universe and the 6th and 7th universes. This universe is also made up of many nebulae. However, the nebulae in the new universe seem to be a little less. Is this the new universe, father-in-law? Lu Fan asked. That's right. The universe has just taken shape and has not yet fully developed, so there is only this one galaxy. Grand Priest pointed to a galaxy in front. The Milky Way is not big. At least in Lu Fan's opinion, it is not as big as the Milky Way where the Earth is located. Such a tiny universe. Lu Fan was a little disgusted. Although the new universe is small, it has strong vitality. Currently, there are more than 3,000 planets with life. Grand Priest explained, however, there are currently no intelligent humans born in the new universe. Yet. Lu Fan nodded. Chapter 58. What you need to do is simple, maintain the balance of this universe. Grand Priest said, I believe you have spent half a year in the gods of destruction world of the 6th universe, and you have a certain understanding of this. Let me ask you, what is the balance of the universe? I'm just speaking in a superficial way. If I'm wrong, don't regret marrying your daughter to me. Lu Fan said. Grand Priest. My understanding of the balance of the universe is that, the universe has only so many resources. If too many humans and lives are born, the resources will obviously not be enough, and they will need to be destroyed. Lu Fan explained, but on the contrary, if there are too many resources and too few humans and lives, the resources will be wasted, so at this time we need to create life. You are right. It seems I don't need to say more. That's what I mean. Grand Priest nodded with satisfaction. Leave this matter to me, as for creating life. Vados and I will have more children, so that life can continue for generations. Lu Fan said. Ahem. Grand Priest wiped the sweat off his face. You think far enough. I will now take you to meet Angel Rose from the new universe. From now on, you two must cooperate well and get the new universe on the right track as soon as possible, said the Grand Priest. Okay, father-in-law. Lu Fan nodded respectfully. Father-in-law. He's half a father. Of course you have to be more respectful. Swish. The master led Lu Fan to perform instant transmission, and they disappeared from the spot in a flash. In the blink of an eye, Lu Fan found himself above an inverted triangle planet. This inverted triangle planet is very similar to Beerus or Kampa. It seems that the world of gods of destruction is basically like this. And in the center of the planet, there is a young and beautiful girl, holding a scepter in her hand, with long, flowing snow-white hair swaying in the wind. Lu Fan guessed that this girl might be Angel Ruosi from the new universe. Bang! Grand Priest slowly descended from the sky with Lu Fan and appeared beside Ruosi. Grand Priest. Rose bowed. At the same time, Ruosi looked at Lu Fan thoughtfully. Ruosi, this Lu Fan is the new gods of destruction that I selected for you. Are you satisfied? Grand Priest said with a smile. Thank you, Grand Priest. Rose nodded calmly, without saying whether she was satisfied or dissatisfied. Then let's do this for now. The two of you should discuss the development of the new universe. The Grand Priest instructed, I will go back first. Master Zeno has something important to ask me to do. Okay, Grand Priest. Rose nodded obediently. Goodbye, father-in-law. Lu Fan waved. Grand Priest was just about to leave, but after hearing Lu Fan's words, he shuddered. Grand Priest glared at Lu Fan unhappily. You are such a disrespectful boy. Swish. Grand Priest said nothing more and disappeared in a flash. Ruosi looked confused. This guy calls my father father-in-law? What does it mean? Did my father promise me to be his wife? Ruosi was a little confused. In fact, it wasn't that Lu Fan was seeking trouble on purpose by teasing Grand Priest. Because Lu Fan knew clearly that Grand Priest was also an angel. Equivalent to a super angel. The angel family has a very good temper. As long as their bottom line is not touched, they generally won't get angry. Lu Fan was just making some harmless jokes with Grand Priest. Therefore, Lu Fan was certain that Grand Priest would never do anything to him. Besides, even if Grand Priest really wanted to do something cruel to Lu Fan also has measures to save his life. How dare you show off in front of the Grand Priest without any life-saving measures? Lu Fan had two choices before. One is that the Grand Priest was evil, and he was hunted by his people, and then he killed them one by one. Another one is the current situation. No matter which one it is, Lu Fan thinks, both are good. Now that he has come to this world called Dragon Ball, Lu Fan would feel guilty if he doesn't have a passionate love affair with Angel. It's just that Angel's skin color. Lu Fan feels a little bit shy. The skin is all blue, and I don't know what color the rest of the body is. Lu Fan was even a little curious. Father-in-law. Ruosi turned her head and looked at Lu Fan. You don't have to worry about this. Grand Priest has already betrothed your sister to me. From now on, you can just call me brother-in-law. Lu Fan said with a smile. Rose. Brother-in-law? How come I suddenly have a brother-in-law? Rose wiped the sweat off her face. I'm looking for the gods of destruction, not my brother-in-law. Rose was speechless. Besides, how could our angel clan marry humans? And how old are you? You are only 8 years old this year, right? Ruosi asked Lu Fan. Yeah, congratulations. You've learned how to answer questions quickly. Lu Fan stepped forward and excitedly grabbed Ruosi's hand. Rose. What a mess. What did I answer? Ahem, it seems like you are not yet suitable for marriage at this age. Ruosi quickly pulled her hand back. Let's get engaged first, and then get married when I come of age, which will be less than 20 years. Lu Fan replied confidently. Ruth didn't want to talk anymore. Find time to ask your sister. Let's not talk about that for now. Since the Grand Priest has asked you to be the gods of destruction of the new universe, let's start destroying now. Rose said, where do you plan to start the destruction? This question can also be considered a test. As an angel, Rose actually already knew where to start the destruction. See that huge star over there? Lu Fan pondered. Ruosi looked in the direction Lu Fan pointed and nodded slightly. This is an extremely massive star. How big is it? According to Lu Fan's opinion, at least 100 billion times brighter than the Earth's sun. This shows how massive this star is. If we look at the 7th universe or the 6th universe, there are actually many such stars. But in this new universe, it is a unique existence. This huge star is the source of life in this universe. Lu Fan smiled, it is because of this huge star that life in this universe can thrive and develop rapidly. You're right. Rose nodded. Everything has two sides. Huge stars provide the source of life, allowing life to develop rapidly, but also leading to premature and excessive consumption of the universe's resources. Lu Fan said. So, you want to destroy this star? Rose asked. It's not easy to destroy. Only the gods of destruction from the 12 universes can destroy such a big star. Chapter 59. It can't be completely destroyed. Lu Fan shook his head. Oh. Rose smiled. Can't be completely destroyed? If you can't destroy it, just say you can't destroy it. Being stubborn here. That's it. And my brother-in-law. If everything is destroyed, how can life continue to be supported by energy? Lu Fan shook his head and analyzed, relying solely on those other stars to provide energy? I think it is far from enough. So what are you going to do? Rose asked curiously. It's destroyed. Lu Fan said. Rose. Didn't you say it can't be destroyed? I'm confused by you. What I mean is that we should divide such a large star into 7 parts and point them in 7 different directions, so that they can illuminate all parts of the universe. In this way, the life energy of the entire universe will be qualitatively sublimated, and there will be no excess resources. Lu Fan suggested. Ruosi was stunned. This is a great idea, why didn't I think of it? Then, destroy those unnecessary planets. Lu Fan said, when the time is right, fuse the 7 stars together. I think this is the best way to improve the quality and balance of the universe. What do you think, Rose? Your analysis is quite logical. The question is, how are you going to split such a large star? Rose smiled. Although you are powerful, you may not be able to surpass the gods of destruction of the 12 universes, right? Only the gods of destruction of the 12 universes have the ability to split such a large star. I have an immature idea that I want to share with you. Lu Fan held his chin in thought. Tell me about it. Rose said. I plan to condense a huge destructive energy to scare this huge star. Maybe it will be very scared and split directly with a shudder. Lu Fan murmured. Rose. Ruth slapped her head hard. Is this human language you're talking about? Don't joke around. Can you scare it into pieces by just scare it? Everything has a spirit. Even a stone has its soul. Lu Fan replied confidently. Ruosi was speechless. Even stones have their souls, let alone such a big star. I don't believe that I can't scare it to death, I don't believe that I can't scare it to pieces. Lu Fan grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Rose said nothing more. I'd like to see how you scare it. I have never been a warlike person. Although I have become the gods of destruction of the new universe, I don't want to cause destruction. Lu Fan sighed, as a human being, peace is the most precious thing. Don't you agree, Rose? You're right. Rose nodded. Whatever you say, just move first. Show me your true strength. Then, I'm going to condense destruction. Lu Fan looked at the huge star in the distance. Okay. Rose nodded. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to that star. Lu Fan said. Rose. Star. You better be careful. My destructive power is very great. You'd better split yourself into 7 parts and then fly to the 7 positions I designate. Lu Fan said to the star. The star said nothing. Mainly because I can't speak. Bang. Lu Fan raised her little hand slightly. Suddenly, a purple-red energy flame condensed in Lu Fan's hand. Destructive energy. This purple-red energy flame swells as the wind blows. In fact, there is no wind here either. Because this is the universe space. In short, this purple-red energy is growing wildly and its volume is constantly increasing. In just a blink of an eye, the purple-red energy flame had expanded to a diameter of 10 meters. Lu Fan just held the purple-red energy flame high in his right hand. Ruosi looked towards the purple-red energy. This kid is not simple. He is only 8 years old. At the age of 8, he can gather such destructive energy. You have to know that gods of destruction like Beerus and Quitella were still breastfeeding when they were 8 years old. Now they are hundreds of millions of years old, and they have just cultivated destruction to the extreme. Bang! Lu Fan's destructive energy continued to expand. 20 meters. 30 meters. 50 meters. 100 meters. 1000 meters. 10,000 meters. Ruosi widened her beautiful eyes, her face showing shock. This kid is definitely a genius. Zeno Temple, outside. Grand Priest is also watching in the direction of the new universe. Grand Priest saw with his own eyes the destruction that Lu Fan condensed. It's so big. It has expanded to a diameter of 10,000 meters. Moreover, this destructive energy expands because the intensity of the destructive energy increases. It doesn't keep expanding because it's being diluted. This kid is simply unbelievable. Even better than I thought. However, even if your destructive energy is 10,000 meters in diameter, can you scare the star to pieces? Not to mention a diameter of 10,000 meters, even if it is 1 million meters, it is less than a pixel in front of a star. That star is really huge. Oh? 100,000 meters. Grand Priest smiled. Just when Grand Priest had this thought, he discovered that the destructive energy condensed by Lu Fan expanded again. 100,000 meters in diameter. Hey, Hung Sing, are you scared? Lu Fan shouted at Hung Sing. Rose. What's there to be afraid of? Although your destructive energy is very powerful, it is still small compared to that huge star. It seems that you are not that scared, so continue to increase it. Lu Fan grinned. Bang. The next moment, the destructive energy in Lu Fan's hand continued to expand. Just now it was 100,000 meters, which means the diameter is 100 kilometers. Now, Lu Fan continued to condense the destructive energy, and soon the destructive energy reached a diameter of 1,000 kilometers. What does a diameter of 1,000 kilometers mean? You can look at the map yourself. But compared to the entire Earth, 1,000 kilometers is nothing, let alone that huge star. No bigger. Lu Fan madly condensed destructive energy. 1,000 kilometers. 10,000 kilometers. 100,000 kilometers. 100 million kilometers. 100 billion kilometers. 1 light year. Ruosi quickly dodged to the side. The jump in your unit is quite large, jumping directly from kilometers to light years. I couldn't even react. A light year in length. A light year in length. What is the concept? If converted into kilometers, it is about 9460730472580 kilometers. Such a huge destructive energy caused some of the surrounding planets to turn into ashes on the spot when they were touched, leaving nothing behind. Now, the destructive energy condensed by Lu Fan has made the huge star tremble a little. It was really frightening. The stars trembled violently. Chapter 60. Bang! The star suddenly split and turned into 7 small suns. Although they are called small suns, each one is actually hundreds of millions times larger than the sun on Earth. After all, this star is 100 billion times more massive than Earth's sun. Divide into 7 portions. Lu Fan calculated, and decided not to waste his brain cells on it. That's right. Lu Fan grinned. Ruosi was so shocked that she couldn't speak. Her little mouth was slightly open and her eyes were full of admiring little stars. Are you human? There is such great destructive energy. I feel that your destructive power has surpassed the gods of destruction of the 12 universes. And, did you really scare that star into splitting? Ruosi didn't know what to say. You. Lu Fan pointed at the 4 little suns and called out, the 4 of you go in 4 directions, east, west, south, and north. Go. 4 little suns. The 4 little suns didn't move. The main reason is that I don't understand. Ruosi, give them some help and don't let them just stand there in a daze. Lu Fan said. Okay, Lord Gods of Destruction. Rose nodded slightly, even changing the address. Come on. Lu Fan said. Bang. The scepter in Rose's hand flashed a brilliant flame, which quickly covered the 4 little suns. Swish, swish, swish. The 4 little suns flew away in 4 directions, east, west, south and north. You, go over there. Lu Fan pointed at another little sun and called out. Bang. Ruosi cooperated very well and shot down a beam of flame. The little sun quickly flew in the direction Lu Fan pointed. You, and you, go over there separately. Lu Fan pointed at the last 2 little suns. Snap. Snap. Ruos continued to shoot down the flames. The 2 little suns flew away quickly. The universe seemed to have regained a trace of peace at this moment. What are you going to do with such a huge destructive energy? Ruosi looked at such a huge destructive energy and felt a little overwhelmed for a moment. Won't this thing destroy my new universe? Ruosi, which universe do you dislike? Let's go and destroy it. Lu Fan whispered. Rose. Ruosi wiped the sweat off her face vigorously. I don't dislike any universe. Ruosi was speechless. Forget it. Next time, if you see a universe you don't like, I'll help you destroy it. Lu Fan said with a smile. First, tell me what you plan to do with such huge destructive energy. Ruosi said with a wry smile. Of course it is recycled, otherwise it will be wasted. Lu Fan said, and the condensed destructive energy was shrinking rapidly. A destructive energy with a diameter of a light year was taken back into Lu Fan's body in less than a minute. Call. Lu Fan exhaled. And then, nothing happened. To Lu Fan, everything seemed as if nothing had happened. However, the universe has changed because of Lu Fan's destructive energy. You're so awesome. I never imagined you could be so powerful. Ruosi exclaimed, and the look in her eyes when she looked at Lu Fan had changed. It's nothing. As long as you focus on doing something, you will get unexpected results. Lu Fan grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Focus on doing one thing. Ruosi silently understood the meaning of this sentence. From the moment I was born, I have been focusing on destruction and not thinking about anything else. Lu Fan continued, so my speed of condensing destruction is several times faster than others. Do you really not think about anything except destruction? Ruosi didn't believe it. Well, now I have some other thoughts, like thinking about your sister when I have nothing to do. Lu Fan said with a smile. I knew it. Ruth pouted and snorted. Next, I will go destroy some planets. Lu Fan said. Okay. Ruosi nodded, and her attitude changed greatly. 30 minutes later. Lu Fan has already destroyed some planets that occupied resources. The new universe has finally restored its balance. Of course, the balance was short-lived. If you want to maintain the current balance for a long time, gods of destruction and supreme Kai need to work together. Judging from the current situation, it should not be a problem to maintain the balance for the previous year. The work of gods of destruction can come to an end for now. After all, our new universe is still too small. Rose observed the entire new universe and showed a satisfied smile to Lu Fan. Next, we should find a Supreme Kai to work with you. I will contact the Grand Priest and see if we can select a Supreme Kai from the 12 universes. That's not necessary. I already have a candidate for Supreme Kai. Lu Fan said. Who is it? Ruosi was stunned and asked. It's still me. Lu Fan said with a smile. Ruosi had a question mark on her face. Or you? What does it mean? Aren't you the gods of destruction? Do you still want to be Supreme Kai? Is there a way to play like this? Watch this. Lu Fan took a deep breath. Call out. Lu Fan raised his big hand upwards. A destructive energy emerged again. Who do you want to scare again? Ruosi was stunned and asked. Lu Fan said nothing and continued to expand his destructive energy. In less than 10 seconds, Lu Fan had condensed the destructive energy into a diameter of about 100 meters. Hey, what do you want to do? Ruosi was a little confused. Aren't we talking about Supreme Kai now? Why did you create another destructive energy? Even Angel is a little confused. Watch carefully. Lu Fan said with a smile. The next moment, Lu Fan squeezed and deformed the condensed destructive energy. The destructive energy changed its shape and gradually compressed to about 1.8 meters. The destructive energy changes shape again. Bang! A purple-red person just appeared next to Lu Fan and Ruosi. This person looks exactly like Lu Fan. But the skin color is purple-red. Is this a clone? Ruosi wiped the sweat off her face. Isn't it fun? Lu Fan said with a smile. Rose. What's so fun about clones? This is compressed destructive energy. Lu Fan said with a smile. Are you going to make this thing your clone? Ruosi was speechless. That's right. Lu Fan nodded. This clone is completely controlled by me, just like playing a game. Everything he sees is from my perspective. He will never develop his own intelligence. Are you going to let this clone be your supreme Kai? Rose quickly responded. Yes, this is something my father-in-law and I have discussed. Lu Fan said with a smile. Rose. You have already discussed it. You should have said it earlier. Chapter 61. My clone will be in charge of New Universe Supreme Kai for 3 years. If I don't do a good job during these 3 years, I will resign automatically. Lu Fan said. Bang. Lu Fan said, pointing his finger at the condensed destructive energy. The color of the destructive energy changed immediately. Soon, the color of the destructive energy became almost the same as Lu Fan's skin color. The current clone is just like Lu Fan himself. Hi, Rose. The clone spoke. Lu Fan said while controlling his clone. Rose. The clone, doesn't have a tail, asked Rose. Yes, there is only one left, and we don't want the one behind it. Lu Fan said. Ruosi covered her face, speechless. Put on your clothes. Ruoc's face flushed and she turned around. So shameless. Hurry up and put clothes on your clone. It's just my clone, no need to be shy. Lu Fan said with a smile. Bang. In just a moment, Lu Fan's clone flashed purple-red destructive energy. When I looked again, Lu Fan's clone had an extra set of clothes on him. This outfit is exactly the same as Lu Fan's. Oink oink. Lu Fan quickly switched back and forth with his clone, moving at a rapid speed. You can turn back now, Ruosi. Lu Fan said. Ruosi turned around and looked at Lu Fan. 2 Lu Fans. One is his clone. They are exactly alike. Guess which one is true? Lu Fan asked with a smile. Oh my, it's so real that it can be mistaken for real. Rose commented, if you don't sense the inside, you really can't tell which is real and which is fake. It's fun, right? Lu Fan said with a smile. Rose. Now, you can teach my clone the basic skills of Supreme Kai. Lu Fan said. Ruosi was stunned and speechless for a moment. What? Don't tell me you don't even know the basic skills of Supreme Kai. You are angel, and you are the teacher of gods of destruction, so you should also be the teacher of Supreme Kai. Lu Fan looked at Ruosi and said. To be precise, Angel is the teacher of gods of destruction. He taught gods of destruction how to use destruction. As for the saying that Angel is the teacher of Supreme Kai, that should have happened a long, long time ago. Rose shook her head and said apologetically, I'm sorry, I really can't teach you the basic skills of Supreme Kai. I didn't expect you to teach me. I'm going back to find your sister. Lu Fan grinned. Rose. Ruosi felt 10,000 points of critical damage at that time. If you don't want to learn from me, why are you telling me so much? Then I will let my clone go to the 6th universe and learn the basic skills of Supreme Kai from your sister. Lu Fan pondered, it just so happens that I am not yet an adult, so let the clone talk about feelings with your sister first, and then the real body will go after it reaches adulthood. It's perfect. Ruo's wiped the sweat off her face. If I were to learn Supreme Kai skills, I would probably be able to do it in half a year, Lu Fan muttered. With your talent, it should be no problem. Rose nodded. Come on, clone. Lu Fan stepped forward and held the clone's hand. Well, I will work hard to become a true Supreme Kai as soon as possible. The clone responded. Rose. Aren't you controlling the clone? Is it interesting that you talk to yourself there? Bang. The clothes on the clone flashed and quickly changed their appearance. In just a moment, the clone's clothes turned into Supreme Kai's unique attire. Call out. The clone soared into the sky, sank into the void, and soon disappeared without a trace. About 20 minutes later. Ruosi, can we reach the 6th universe by passing through the realm of nothingness from here? Lu Fan asked. Yes, fly in that direction. Ruosi pointed in a certain direction. Got it. Lu Fan nodded slightly, controlled the clone, and continued to fly towards the direction of the 6th universe. To Lu Fan, controlling the clone felt like playing a game. That feeling is really great. The 6th universe, the planet Kampa. Kampa went to take it home. Vados was the only one left on the planet. Suddenly, Vados looked up at the sky. Oh, what a rare guest. It's Lord Beerus. Vados smiled. Call out. Whis and Beerus fell from the sky and landed near Vados. Hello, sister. Whis bowed. Stop talking nonsense, where is that BD Compa? Beerus snorted. Master Compa has gone to see Mr. Hitoff. He should be back soon. Vados replied truthfully. Where is Lu Fan? Where is he? Beerus asked again. Lu Fan hasn't come back yet. Vados said. What do you mean by not coming back? Beerus was stunned. Sister, do you mean? Mr. Lu Fan was left behind by the Grand Priest. Whis was slightly startled and made a guess. What did you say? Beerus was surprised. Lu Fan was left behind by the Grand Priest? Grand Priest, are you trying to snatch the coke from me? Beerus thought the Grand Priest was too shameless. This is bad. I'm afraid there's no hope for my coke. Beerus sniffed and wanted to cry. Leading. Whis. The two angels shook their heads and sighed. What's your train of thought? It's like the Grand Priest is trying to snatch the coke from you. Lord Compa thinks so too, Vados said to Whis. Oh my, they really are brothers. Whis smiled. Yes, yes. Vados nodded. Sister, what do you think is the reason why Grand Priest kept Mr. Lu Fan here? Whis asked. I think it's possible that Lu Fan will be the gods of destruction of the new universe. Vados guessed, of course, this is just my guess. We'll know the details when Lu Fan comes back. The gods of destruction of the new universe. Whis murmured. Whis, stop talking nonsense. Beerus said with a dark face, Vados, I just want to ask you, is Lu Fan from our universe? Oh my, Lord Beerus knows about it. Vados grinned. Vados seemed to have known that this day would come, so there was nothing to be surprised about. You and Compa are so shameless. You stole my people from our universe while I was sleeping. Beerus bared his teeth. It's Lord Beerus who didn't find this person. Vados said with a smile, I've read a book about the story of Bull and the Thousand-Li Horse. It's very interesting. As he spoke, Vados told Whis and Beerus the story about Bull and the steed. What do you mean by that? Don't change the subject. Beerus was confused. Chapter 62. Call out. As he was speaking, Compa fell from the sky and landed next to Vados. Compa, you finally came back. Beerus bared his teeth, you came back just in time, you are such a despicable guy, secretly taking my people away from our universe. Beerus, don't you understand what Vados just said? It was us who discovered Lu Fan. We are Lu Fan's bull. Lu Fan is a 1,000-mile horse. Do you understand this now? Compa said with a smile. Yeah, that's what I meant. Vados nodded. Stop talking nonsense. Compa, UBD. The gourmet planet you are going to was originally prepared for me by my subordinate Frisia. Everyone on the planet is under the jurisdiction of Frisia and me. Beerus snorted, when I wake up, Frisia will take me to that planet to enjoy delicious food. By then, how can I not know about Coke? But from what I understand, Frisia received your order to eliminate all scions. Compa snorted. Beerus was a bit misfired. If Lu Fan knew that it was Beerus who secretly ordered Frisia to destroy their planet, do you think he would go back with you? Compa grinned. Beerus. This is a rather bad thing. Lu Fan must have a lot of friends and relatives on planet Vegeta. If he really knew that it was me who made Frisia destroy planet Vegeta, he will definitely not return to the 7th universe with me. You shameless guy, you haven't told him yet, have you? Beerus' heart tightened and he asked hurriedly. I'm not that boring. Compa snorted. That's good. Beerus breathed a sigh of relief. I know you came here for Coke. How about this? When Lu Fan comes back, I'll give you a bottle of Coke to try. Compa suggested, if you think it tastes good, I'll ask him to send you 1,000 bottles, okay? As for whether he wants to go back with you, let Lu Fan choose for himself. Compa had a premonition that Beerus would come knocking on his door. Compa knew that when Lu Fan went to the Gods of Destruction election site to watch the excitement, his true identity should have been exposed. Whis will definitely tell Beerus that Lu Fan is from their 7th universe. Humph, okay. Beerus thought about it carefully and felt that there was nothing wrong with it. I want 1,000 bottles per month. Okay, but if you fall asleep do I still need to provide you with Coke? Compa asked. Yes, of course. Beerus replied, save it for now and drink it slowly when I wake up. Beerus, if you drink cola for a long time, you will get tired of it. Kampa sighed. You shameless fat man, have you drunk enough? Beerus felt angry just thinking about it. Kampa. I still didn't say anything. Too much talk will lead to mistakes. Beerus has never even drunk coke. This kind of thing comes from their 7th universe. If it were me, I would be angry too. Are you waiting here? Don't you have any coke in stock? Beerus asked with a dark face. Not really. All the coke is obtained from Lu Fan and is made and drunk right after it is made, Kampa explained. Are you kidding? I clearly remember that guy named Hit kept a can of coke. Beerus snorted. That's Lu Fan's new packaging. What's a can? I've never seen this kind of packaging before. In the past, he made the drink right before drinking. Kampa replied. Forget it. Beerus said no more. Another 2 to 3 hours passed. Beerus was almost sleepy and kept yawning, with his eyelids twitching. Lord Beerus, why don't we go back first? You can go back and take a nap, and then think about the coke issue when you wake up. Whis suggested. No, I have to solve the coke problem before I go to bed, otherwise I will have nightmares when I sleep. Beerus said confidently. Kampa. Another hour passed. Beerus kept dozing off. Kampa, Vados and Whis looked at each other. You are so sleepy, why don't you go home quickly? Are you still waiting for Lu Fan here? What if Lu Fan doesn't come back today? Kampa suddenly asked. Then I'll sleep here. Beerus opened his eyes and replied. Kampa was speechless. Well, you can sleep here if you want. You are so persistent. Another 2 hours passed. Lu Fan finally turned into a purple-red flame and flew back from outside. Because during this period of time, Lu Fan basically worked with Ruosi. Then, it was Lu Fan who was on his way. After all, Lu Fan's current clone is just a pure destructive energy and doesn't have any other skills. It can't be said that other skills are not available. The clone has the gods of destruction skill. After all, the clone is condensed from destructive energy. Moreover, Lu Fan also compressed all this destructive energy. Call out. Lu Fan fell from the sky and landed on the ground of the planet Kampa. Hey? You are Beerus and Whis from the 7th universe, right? Lu Fan greeted with a smile. When they saw Lu Fan appear, Whis and the other 4 people present widened their eyes and looked shocked. What? Supreme Kai! Beerus exclaimed. You, when did you become Supreme Kai? Kampa looked at Lu Fan in surprise and even stuttered. After not seeing him for a few hours, has this guy Lu Fan become Supreme Kai? This outfit is obviously Supreme Kai's clothing. Beerus suddenly had a bad feeling. Whis also immediately exchanged glances with Vados. Could it be that Lu Fan has become the Supreme Kai of the new universe? Grand Priest kept him here just to make him the Supreme Kai of the new universe? But, didn't we hear that, the new universe doesn't need Supreme Kai yet? What the new universe needs most right now is gods of destruction. I don't understand. Sister, although Lu Fan is wearing Supreme Kai's clothes, did you notice, he is not wearing Patara earrings? Whis whispered. Yeah, maybe the Grand Priest specially selected Lu Fan to be the trainee Supreme Kai. Vados nodded. Hey, kid. Beerus immediately stepped forward and said to Lu Fan, tell me, what's going on with you? Have you become the Supreme Kai of the new universe? Chapter 63. You guessed right. Lu Fan nodded. Beerus. It's over, Coke is gone. This guy has become the Supreme Kai of the new universe. I have no right to take him back. It's terrible. After a brief shock, Beerus gradually regained his composure. In Beerus's opinion, the worst outcome would be that there would be no more long-term Coke to drink. As for Lu Fan becoming the Supreme Kai of the new universe, it was indeed beyond Beerus's expectations. How did this guy become Supreme Kai? I don't understand. I totally don't understand. But I don't know the Supreme Kai skills yet, so you don't have to be afraid. Lu Fan grinned. Who would be afraid of you, the Supreme Kai? Beerus emphasized the 3 words Supreme Kai. Is there something you want to talk to me about? Beerus. Lu Fan asked. Kid, don't think that just because you become Supreme Kai, you can call me by my name. Beerus' face darkened. Yes, Lord Beerus. Lu Fan smiled and added a title after Beerus. That's good enough. Beerus nodded in satisfaction. Kompa was secretly shaking his head. Beerus. You really don't understand Lu Fan. Do you know that this guy is very petty? I don't think you can drink Coke today. With Lu Fan's personality, it would be strange if you asked him to add the word sir after your address, he would make you a Coke. I wonder what Lord Beerus is here for? Lu Fan asked with a smile. Of course I came here to try a bottle of Coke. Beerus snorted. Oh. Lord Beerus came at a really bad time. Lu Fan sighed, on my way back, I accidentally encountered a universe storm, and my Coke-making machine was swept away by the storm. What did you say? Beerus widened his eyes and said in a lost voice. Kompa was secretly happy on the side. What did I say? I told you this guy would never make Coke for you. If you had been nicer to him just now, he might have given you a bottle of Coke to try. Now that this kid is a Supreme Kai, he can be considered to have nothing to fear. It's not easy. I could yell at him before, but now this guy seems a bit smug. Kompa was even considering whether to wait until Whis and Beerus left before bullying Lu Fan first. While his position as Supreme Kai is still not firmly established, it would be inappropriate to bully him after he has settled down. After all, he is the Supreme Kai of another universe. Kompa thought a lot at once. So, I'm sorry, I can't make Mr. Beerus's cola. Lu Fan sighed. Then make a new Coke device. Beerus snorted. Yes, I can make new equipment. Lu Fan nodded, but it will take at least 3 days to make new Coke equipment. Lord Beerus, please wait here patiently. What? 3 days? Beerus felt that this amount of time was a bit like scratching a wall. 3 days is neither long nor short. It's very confusing. If I wait here, it will seem like a very long time. Go back and come back, all the time has been wasted on the road. Beerus was a little confused. This time is like the distance we usually travel to a certain place. For example, about 1.6 kilometers. It's not worth driving, you may not find a parking space. It's too far to walk. Take the bus, there is no direct bus. Now Beerus is also struggling with this problem. Should I stay or go back? Master Beerus, please stay and wait. It will only take 3 days. Lu Fan said. Beerus couldn't refuse the invitation and decided to stay. What if we can't finish it in 3 days? Kompa came up with a brilliant finishing move. Then come on for another 3 days. Lu Fan secretly gave Kompa a thumbs up. Beerus felt sick. I suddenly had a feeling that I might not be able to drink Coke in 3 days. Hey, kid, I just came here to get a bottle of Coke. Are you deliberately making things difficult for me? Beerus narrowed his eyes and looked at Lu Fan. How dare I make things difficult for Lord Beerus? I'm just a small Supreme Kai. Lu Fan grinned and showed a kind smile. Humph, you wouldn't dare to do that. Beerus snorted, and then said, by the way, I remember when you were at the Gods of Destruction campaign site, you could just raise your hand and produce a can of Coke. Have you used up all those? Yes, there are only a few bottles, and they are all gone. Lord Beerus, do you think it is a cash cow? You can shake as much as you want. Lu Fan replied confidently. Forget it, I'll come back in 3 days. Beerus really had no choice. Although Beerus also thought that Lu Fan was deceiving himself. But there is no way to prove this kind of thing. He said no, can you still beat him up? If he was just an ordinary scion before, I would go beat him up and then take him back, there would be nothing wrong with that. But, this kid is now a Supreme Kai. And he is the Supreme Kai from another universe. This is not easy to bully. By the way, let me ask you, who are the Gods of Destruction in the new universe? Beerus suddenly thought of something and asked quickly. This, can't be said. Lu Fan shook his head. Beerus was stunned for 2 seconds. Kompa was also slightly startled. Whis and Vados looked at each other. Why can't I say it? What do you mean? Is there anything you can't say? Beerus snorted. This new universe's Gods of Destruction is so powerful. Lu Fan lowered his voice and said to Beerus. But this voice could be heard by everyone present. Humph, stop joking. How powerful can I be? Beerus chuckled. Didn't Kompa tell you? I am the strongest god of destruction. Do you know what that means? Among the gods of destruction in the 12 universes, I am the most powerful. Stop bragging. Kampa gritted his teeth. Are you dissatisfied? Beerus glanced over. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Kampa clenched his fists. Okay, I'm not here to fight you, and you're no match for me. Beerus was too lazy to argue with Kampa, but was interested in the identity of the gods of destruction of the new universe. He looked at Lu Fan and asked, you just said that this gods of destruction of the new universe is very powerful. Tell me, how powerful is he? It is said that the Grand Priest wants to train the gods of destruction of the new universe into great gods of destruction. Lu Fan said. Beerus' eyes widened and his whole body shuddered. What? Great gods of destruction? Kampa cried out. Oh my! Is the great gods of destruction going to be born? Vados was also deeply surprised. It looks like the world of gods of destruction is going to be reshuffled. Whis smiled. Chapter 64. What did you say? Beerus turned his head to look at Whis, his expression changing again and again. Nothing, I was just talking casually. Whis smiled. The great gods of destruction. It is said that his status is even higher than that of the Grand Priest. Beerus shuddered. Did Grand Priest really say that? Kampa felt as if the sky had fallen. Yes, Grand Priest does have this idea. Lu Fan nodded, secretly happy in his heart. It seems that the position of the great gods of destruction is still very powerful. Look how scared Beerus and Kampa are. I was almost scared to death. Impossible. Even if it's true, you shouldn't say that as a Supreme Kai. Beerus didn't believe it. Believe it or not. Lu Fan smiled, I have said what I need to say. So, who is this new god of destruction? Beerus asked through gritted teeth, is he the god of destruction from all 12 universes? No. Lu Fan shook his head. If you really want to know his identity, I can tell you. Oh. Beerus was slightly stunned. But you have to think about it. If you know his true identity, when he becomes the great gods of destruction, he might take you as the first target. As the heir of the great gods of destruction, if it were me, would I be happy if someone asked about my identity and information? Lu Fan said seriously, and then changed the topic to himself, the answer is, I won't be happy. I will be very angry. Beerus. Hey, you sound like the heir of the great gods of destruction. Beerus shook his head. But Beerus finally listened to Lu Fan's words. Beerus felt that Lu Fan was right. Now I want to know the identity of the heir of the great gods of destruction. When the great gods of destruction really come to power, they might target me. Because now, apart from the Supreme Kai of this new universe, I'm afraid that the other gods of destruction don't know the true identity of the great gods of destruction. No, this guy might not know. He might just be fooling me. The throne of the great gods of destruction has been idle for 50 million years. I'd better not think too much about it. Please hurry up with the coke matter. I'll contact you in 3 days. Beerus said to Lu Fan. Yes, Master Beerus. Lu Fan nodded, if I have made a new coke machine, I will contact Master Beerus immediately. That's more like it. Beerus smiled with satisfaction and called to Whis, Whis, let's go. Lord Beerus, you go back first. I haven't seen my sister for a long time and I want to have a good chat with her. Whis ordered Beerus. What do you have to talk about? Beerus muttered, but didn't object. Whatever you want, I have to go back to sleep. Remember to wake me up in 3 days. No, wake me up after this guy makes the coke. Vados was also slightly stunned and glanced at Whis. Yeah, what can I talk to you about? Did Whis see something? Understood. Whis nodded. Let's go. Beerus waved his hand. Bang. Purple-red flames appeared on Beerus' body. Call out. Beerus turned into a stream of light, quickly sank into the void, and soon disappeared without a trace. Lu Fan, you're really good. You've become the Supreme Kai of the new universe. Kampa walked up and patted Lu Fan on the shoulder. Hehe, I have to thank Vados and your cultivation. Lu Fan grinned. When you drink the water, remember its source. With your words, it doesn't seem like I have trained you in vain. Kampa nodded with satisfaction. Although you didn't teach me much. Lu Fan added, most of it was taught by Vados. Kampa. This kid, you shine when you are given some sunshine. Hey, Lu Fan, now that Beerus is gone, everyone here is no longer an outsider. Kampa said, Whis is the angel of the seventh universe, but he also knows what to say and what not to say. So? Lu Fan smiled. So what? Of course I just want to ask you who the great gods of destruction are. Kampa snorted. Okay. I can't hide it anymore, I'm Angel, ahem, I'm changing the subject. I'm the great gods of destruction. Lu Fan said solemnly. Kampa. Kampa rolled his eyes and ignored it. You are the great gods of destruction? Come on, stop bragging. Kampa was almost amused by Lu Fan and shook his head. Forget it, I won't ask. If you don't want to talk about it, then don't talk about it. Let that guy Beerus get the infection. I might as well take a nap. Hey, big fat cat, I really am the future gods of destruction. Lu Fan said from behind. Go, don't make such stupid jokes next time. Be careful that the great gods of destruction may destroy you first after he takes over. Kampa snorted and said with a dark face. After saying this, Kampa ran into the castle and went to sleep. Only Lu Fan, Vados and Whis were left at the scene. Whis said nothing, just looked Lu Fan up and down. Vados also looked at Lu Fan strangely. Vados always felt that something was wrong with Lu Fan today. It's totally different from usual. What went wrong? Hey? Lu Fan, where's your tail? Vados asked suddenly. I said I felt something was not right with him. It was his tail that was missing. Well, leaving a tail is enough. Lu Fan replied. Vados had a question mark on his face. Only a tail left? Don't you only have one tail? Do you have another tail? Whis was wiping his sweat. Look, Whis understands. Lu Fan said. Whis. Don't drag me into this. Do you think it's appropriate for you to joke like this with my sister in front of me? I always feel like there's something wrong with you. It's completely different from before. Vados muttered. It's normal because I'm Supreme Kai now. Lu Fan said with a smile. No, it's not just that. Vados shook his head slightly. He is not Lu Fan. Whis suddenly spoke. Vados was stunned for a moment, then immediately came to his senses. Yes, it's definitely not him. He is simply an energy body. Vados nodded. Lu Fan. It was exposed so soon? It seems that I have underestimated Angel's ability. Are you Lu Fan's clone? Vados asked Lu Fan. Yeah, you're right. Lu Fan grinned. Chapter 65. What era is this now? Is there still anyone using ancient tricks like clones? Vados wiped his sweat. No, sister is not entirely right. Whis murmured in a low voice. Whis, what did you see now? Vados asked. If my guess is correct, Mr. Lu Fan may be the future great gods of destruction. Whis said. Vados' eyes kept blinking and he looked at Lu Fan again. As expected of Whis, you were able to find out my true identity so quickly. Lu Fan sighed slightly, it seems that I still didn't hide it well enough. Wow, it's still hard to hide it from Angel. Whis giggled. Oh my, that's incredible. From now on you will be the leader of the gods of destruction, the great gods of destruction who controls the entire space and time. Vados exclaimed. Back then, this guy was just a beverage mixer. In just half a year, it has grown to this level. Wrong. That's not the case. This guy had already understood destruction before I met him. I'm the only one who knows about this. Lord Kampa is still in the dark. Whis, what did you say just now? Lu Fan looked at Whis and asked. What? Whis was stunned. Repeat what you just said. Lu Fan said. Repeat that? Am I saying that Mr. Lu Fan might be the future great gods of destruction? Whis replied. The next sentence. Lu Fan said. It's still hard to hide this from Angel. Is that it? Whis continued. Yes, that's it. Lu Fan nodded. That is to say, there is one thing we don't know, right, future great gods of destruction. Whis said with a smile. Yet. Lu Fan grinned. Guess. You can't guess it no matter how hard you try. Wow, this is really hard to guess. Whis wiped the sweat off his face. What's the matter? Vados also looked curious. Grand Priest has decided to marry you to me. Lu Fan said to Vados. Vados' beautiful eyes widened at that moment, with a look of surprise on her face. You are such a joke. How could the Grand Priest betroth me to you? So Whis, from now on you are my brother-in-law. Lu Fan said. Whis. My god, my brother-in-law. Ahem. In our god realm, there has never been such a name. Whis wiped the sweat off his face. From now on, you have to call me brother-in-law when you see me. Do you understand? Lu Fan said. Whis covered his face and didn't want to talk anymore. Hey, I never said I wanted to marry you. Vados was speechless. The moment I become the great gods of destruction will be our wedding day. Lu Fan said to Vados. Leading. Vados, wait for me. When I grow up, I will definitely come to marry you. Lu Fan looked at Vados affectionately. Vados then realized. This kid is still a minor. Are you missing your wife so much that you are going crazy? Whis shook his head and sighed. Grand Priest, what kind of heir to the great gods of destruction are you looking for? Is this guy really fit to be the great gods of destruction? But then again, your wish has finally come true. Vados changed the subject. You are now both the gods of destruction and the supreme Kai, right? Yet, my father-in-law still takes good care of me. Lu Fan nodded in acknowledgement. Leading. So soon even my father-in-law was called. But I have already discussed with my father-in-law that my clone will serve as supreme Kai for 3 years. If it doesn't perform well enough, my clone can be disbanded. Lu Fan told the truth. There is no need to hide this kind of thing from Angel. Besides, Lu Fan has already decided that Vados will be his wife from now on. What secrets do you need from your wife? So, you are here to learn Supreme Kai skills from me. Vados reacted quickly and looked at Lu Fan. Yet, you're worthy of being my wife. You really understand me? Lu Fan nodded vigorously. Forget it. I won't watch you guys showing off your affection here. I'm going back first. Whis sighed, tapped the ground lightly with the scepter in his hand, and was about to leave. Wait a moment. Lu Fan called. Whis paused for a moment. No matter what, you will be my brother-in-law in the future. I can't treat you unfairly, right? Lu Fan smiled and raised his hand gently. Bang! A can of Coke appeared in Lu Fan's hand. Call out! Lu Fan casually threw the can of Coke to Whis. Coke! Whis was stunned. He was surprised and happy at the time, and quickly took it. Try it. If it tastes good, I'll bring you a few bottles. Lu Fan said. Okay. Whis nodded, opened the can and took a sip of Coke. After taking a sip of Coke, Whis' eyebrows began to dance. Oh my, it's so delicious. This is the first time I've had such a delicious drink. Whis felt that happiness came too suddenly. Why haven't I had such a delicious drink before? Lu Fan thought, when you go to the Earth in the 7th universe and drink Coke everywhere, will you be mad to death? Is it okay? Lu Fan asked with a smile. Yes, this is the best drink I have ever had. Whis nodded and added, thank you, brother-in-law. Leading. Vados covered his face, his expression darkening. Whis, you sold me out just for a bottle of Coke. Take these 10 bottles. Lu Fan waved his hand again, with 10 more cans in his hand, and said generously to Whis. 10 bottles. Thank you so much, brother-in-law. Whis' eyes widened. But don't give it to that guy Beerus. He was not polite to me at all. Lu Fan warned. Okay brother-in-law, I don't even have enough to drink for myself, how can I give it to Lord Beerus? Whis smiled mysteriously. Then, about my identity. Lu Fan said again. Keep it a secret. I won't tell anyone, not even other angels. Whis nodded in understanding, and then said thoughtfully, but it's not difficult to hide your identity as a clone from the gods of destruction, but it's not that easy to hide it from Angel. If one day, my strength surpasses Angel, do you think I can still keep it a secret? Lu Fan said with a smile. That should be fine. Whis nodded, but if you want to surpass us angels, I'm afraid you'll need to work hard for more than 1,000 years, or even longer. Lu Fan just smiled and said nothing more. Whis, don't underestimate him. Vados lowered his voice and sent a message to Whis, before I brought him here, he had already realized destruction on his own. Whis. Chapter 66. His strength now may be comparable to that of Master Kompa. Vados added. Whis' eyes widened, a look of shock on his face. Are you kidding? He is only 8 years old. If you had said he was 80, I don't think I would have been surprised. But he is only 8 years old. Even if one starts practicing destruction right after birth, one cannot comprehend it so quickly. Could it be that he is the reincarnation of the great gods of destruction? Whis murmured. I feel the same way. Vados nodded in agreement, otherwise why would father let him take over the throne of the great gods of destruction? The problem is, the great gods of destruction has already passed away, reincarnation doesn't seem likely. Whis shook his head. Then it can only mean that he is gifted. Vados said. Can you two stop using telepathy? Lu Fan sighed, are you discussing how to hold a luxurious wedding? Leading. Whis. Ahem, Mr. Lu Fan, no, Lord Supreme Kai, if there are outsiders present, I'll still call you that. Whis coughed. Vados is not an outsider, she is my future wife. Lu Fan said seriously, if there are only 3 of us, you can just call me brother-in-law. I won't dislike you. Whis stopped talking. I suddenly remembered that there might be heavy rain on the planet Beerus today. I forgot to close the window. Goodbye. After Whis said this, he turned into a ray of light as bright as a star. Call out. Whis sank into the void and disappeared in a flash. When he left, he didn't forget to take the 10 bottles of Coke with him. Whis left in such a hurry. I originally wanted to give him a taste of lemon-flavored Coke. Lu Fan sighed. Whis, who was moving quickly, obviously heard what Lu Fan said. Whis' entire body trembled violently. What a bad decision. I was flying too fast. Should I go back and try that lemon-flavored Coke? No, let's talk about it in 3 days. Whis was too embarrassed to come back, so he just sped up his flight so that he could out of sight and out of mind. The 7th universe, the planet Beerus. Boom. With a deafening roar, Beerus hit the ground of the planet like a cannonball. The entire planet Beerus was shaking violently. Even Beerus's castle was beginning to crumble. The prophecy fish was so frightened that it thought someone was attacking the gods of destruction world. Who is so bold as to run wild in the world of gods of destruction? The prophecy fish flew past quickly. The prophetic fish jumped over and saw that it was this guy Beerus. Hey, Beerus, you guy, do you want to destroy your own gods of destruction world? The prophecy fish shouted hurriedly. Beerus rubbed his head and woke up with a yawn. You are amazing. Did you fall asleep on the road? The prophetic fish wiped his sweat. Humph, just took a nap. Beerus snorted. You call that a nap? You almost destroyed your own gods of destruction world. The prophecy fish said unhappily. It's okay, Whis will fix it. Beerus checked his gods of destruction world and didn't seem to have any major problems, so he breathed a sigh of relief. Where's Whis? Didn't he come back with you? Asked the prophecy fish. He had something else to do, so I came back first. Beerus said and yawned again. Okay. The prophecy fish nodded. I'm going to bed. I'm really sleepy. Beerus' eyelids drooped. That fat guy, what are you going to do with him? The prophecy fish pointed at Majin Buu, who was fainted in the distance. I almost forgot about this thing. Let's seal it up first and talk about it after I wake up. Beerus patted his head, trying to wake himself up. Then, Beerus stepped up to Majin Buu's side. Bang! Beerus waved at Majin Buu. An invisible energy quickly covered Majin Buu's body. In just a moment, Majin Buu was sealed again by Beerus. The seal has the same effect as before. It is also a round egg. Okay. Beerus said, Prophecy Fish, when Whis comes back, ask him to send this guy back to the planet called Earth. Otherwise, he will be an eyesore if he stays here. Okay. The Prophecy Fish did not object and asked again, did you drink the Coke? Beerus. Beerus felt heartbroken at that moment. Don't mention Coke to me. Beerus shouted angrily. It seems that I didn't get to drink it. The prophecy fish muttered softly. I have to go to bed. I'm so sleepy. I thought the gods of destruction in the new universe came from our universe. Beerus sighed. Lord Beerus. Actually, I have a prophecy that I wanted to tell you before you left, said the prophecy fish. Hurry up and tell me, I still need to go to bed. Beerus said unhappily. I predict that a great gods of destruction will be born in our universe, said the prophetic fish. However, when the prophecy fish finished saying this, it found that Beerus had fallen asleep. That's right, I fell asleep while standing. Prophecy fish. You are such a talent. You can sleep while standing up. Forget it, I've told you everything I need to say. Don't blame me if you suffer any harm in the future. The prophecy fish sighed, dragged Beerus' tail, brought him back to the castle, and threw him on the bed. Beerus turned over and fell into a deep sleep. I wonder how many years I'll sleep like this. The prophetic fish shook his head, what a long sleep. Supreme Kai World. Sir Supreme Kai, is there any news about Majin Buu? Jepitel asked anxiously. Found it. Finally found it. Supreme Kai's eyes lit up and he looked far away at the gods of destruction world, which is the planet Beerus. Where? Asked Jebi in surprise. I don't know where that place is. It doesn't seem to be the human world, nor the gods' world. Supreme Kai scratched his head, looking confused. It doesn't matter. Lord Supreme Kai, how is Majin Buu? Jepitel asked hurriedly. In comparison, Jepitel is more concerned about the whereabouts of Majin Buu. Am I dazzled? He seems to be sealed again. Supreme Kai looked confused. It was sealed? Who did it? Jebet wondered, could it be that cat man? Chapter 67. I don't know, but it's a good thing that he can be sealed up. Supreme Kai nodded with relief. Where is the cat man? Lord Supreme Kai asked Jupiter. He seems to be sleeping in his castle. Supreme Kai replied, it seems he is also a little afraid of Majin Buu's true strength. But I don't know how he sealed Majin Buu. Maybe he secretly learned Babadai's magic. Jebet guessed. It's not impossible. Supreme Kai nodded in agreement. So what should we do next, Supreme Kai? Jupiter asked, leaving Majin Buu with that cat man always feels like a hidden danger. Who knows, that guy might get crazy and let him out again. Your concerns are justified, the Supreme Kai responded, it would be better to move Majin Buu away. But where should we put him, murmured Jebet. No, let's bring Majin Buu back first. Then, while that guy is sleeping, we can take him away without anyone noticing. Supreme Kai's eyes lit up and he came up with a plan. Yes, Lord Supreme Kai knows instant transmission. If we take him away, the cat man will definitely not notice. Jepitel nodded vigorously. Kai. Supreme Kai performed instant transmission and appeared in the Gods of Destruction world, which is Beerus planet, in just a moment. The Supreme Kai quickly came to Majin Buu's seal and placed his hand on it. Kai. Supreme Kai used instant transmission again and disappeared once again in an instant. The prophecy fish looked confused. Wasn't that Supreme Kai just now? How did he steal Majin Buu's seal? What does he want to do? I don't understand. Swish. Supreme Kai soon returned to the Supreme Kai world with the seal of Majin Buu. Everything happened in just a blink of an eye. It looks like it's going well, Lord Supreme Kai, Jepitel said excitedly. Ha, that cat man didn't notice me at all, he was sleeping so soundly. Supreme Kai breathed a sigh of relief. What should we do with this guy? Jepitel asked after looking at the seal of Majin Buu. Think about it again. Supreme Kai groaned. The two of them pondered over this. How to deal with this guy? Where should I put him? I feel like it's not safe no matter where I put it, there will be hidden dangers. The best way is to kill him. Supreme Kai sighed, this way we can avoid future troubles, and the entire universe will return to peace. It would be great if we could kill him. Jebet sighed along with him, and suddenly an idea flashed in his mind. Sir Supreme Kai, I have thought of a good idea, but it is a little difficult to implement. Tell me about it. Supreme Kai said. Kill him with the sword, suggested Jebet. Excalibur. Supreme Kai was slightly stunned, and his eyes flashed with a gleam of brilliance. Jebet's idea seems to be quite good. The power of the sword is still very strong. If the divine sword is used to pierce the seal of Majin Buu, Majin Buu would surely be killed on the spot by the sword. But we can't pull out the holy sword, this method is useless. Jebet shook his head and sighed. Supreme Kai remained silent. Yes. We can't pull out the sword. There's nothing you can do about it. Find a way to pull out the magic sword first. How to pull out this magic sword? Jebet, I think the method you proposed is a good one. It is the only way to kill Majin Buu. Supreme Kai pondered, so, let's go and pull out the sword. If we work hard, maybe we can pull it out. Okay, we'll just have to give it a try. Jebat nodded solemnly. The two came to the top of the mountain where the magic sword was. The next moment, the two of them used all their strength to pull out the magic sword. But no matter how hard the two tried, the magic sword did not move at all. Huff, huff, huff. Supreme Kai and Jupiter were exhausted, panting, and sweating. They sat on the ground and gasped for breath. No, Lord Supreme Kai, this sword is too strange. Jupiter sighed. Take a rest and try again later. If it doesn't work we can only send Majin Buu to a secret planet. Supreme Kai suggested. Yes, Supreme Kai. Jebi nodded. Universe space. Whis was turning into a beam of light as bright as a star and moving rapidly. Suddenly, light flashed on the crystal ball of the scepter in Whis's hand. Whis was slightly startled. Prophecy fish, is there anything urgent? Whis asked. Whis knew that this was the prophecy fish contacting him. I don't know what will happen to him. Generally speaking, the prophecy fish rarely contacts Whis. Whis, let me tell you something, said the prophecy fish. Okay, go ahead. Whis nodded. Lord Beerus fell asleep after he came back, said the prophecy fish. That's great. No one will snatch my coke from me. Whis smiled and said, I don't think fish drink coke, do they? What is coke? The prophecy fish was confused for 2 seconds. Wow, aren't you able to predict the future? How come you couldn't even predict such a delicious drink? Whis said with a smile. Ahem, let's not talk about this. I'll continue. The prophet fish seemed to have no real interest in coke, mainly because he had never heard of it. He spoke again with a serious expression. Lord Beerus fell asleep as soon as he got home. Isn't this normal? Whis asked, what else happened? Before going to bed, Lord Beerus sealed Majin Buu away, saying that he was an eyesore. The prophecy fish replied. This is indeed Lord Beerus's style. Whis nodded. Lord Beerus also told you to return Majin Buu's seal to its original place after you return. The prophecy fish said again. Let's talk about this after I get back. There's no need to video chat with me remotely. Whis sighed. No, I'm not finished yet, the prophecy fish continued. Whis sighed. You are such a nagging person. Go on. Whis said. Then, when I turned around, I found that Supreme Kai appeared and took away Majin Buu's seal through instant transmission, said the prophetic fish. I understand. You want me to go to the Supreme Kai world and ask Supreme Kai how to deal with Majin Buu, right? Whis finally understood. Yes, that's what I mean. The prophecy fish nodded. Prophecy fish, you are really good at it. Whis sighed. Water? What do you mean? The prophetic fish was stunned. In some places, it means you are too long-winded and say unnecessary nonsense. Whis smiled. If our story is written into a novel, the author will be complained by readers, saying that his plot is too watery. Oh my, we will ruin the author by doing this. Prophecy fish. Chapter 68. There was a brief silence. I am a fish. If I don't give me water, who will? The prophetic fish said confidently. Whis was speechless. Forget, you are a fish. Okay, I'll go to the Supreme Kai world now to see what Lord Supreme Kai wants to do. It happens to be on my way now. Whis greeted. Thank you for your hard work. The prophecy fish said, but hesitated to speak. What do you want to say? Whis asked with a smile, is there a new prophecy? Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say. The prophecy fish nodded. What was predicted? Whis asked with a smile. I predict that a great gods of destruction will be born in our 7th universe. The look of the prophetic fish became unusually solemn. Okay, I understand. Whis nodded. Hey? Why aren't you surprised at all? The prophecy fish was stunned. Your predictions have never been correct anyway. Whis smiled. Prophecy fish. I feel my prediction is very accurate this time. The prophecy fish said seriously. Okay, I believe it. Whis nodded. Prophecy fish. Your attitude is too perfunctory. How come even you don't believe it? I am telling the truth. Let's do this for now. I'm going to go to Supreme Kai first. Whis said. Okay. The prophecy fish said nothing more. The call ends. Call out. Whis turned a corner halfway and whizzed off in the direction of the Supreme Kai world. When Whis appeared above the Supreme Kai world, he was shocked to find that Supreme Kai and Jepitel were pulling carrots, pulling Excalibur. Hey, I can't pull out the sword. Whis slowly fell from the air. Greetings to Supreme Kai. Whis bowed respectfully. As an angel, he is always very polite. This is true for Supreme Kai and gods of destruction as well. Even for ordinary humans, a Mr. or Ms. will be added after his address. Supreme Kai and Jupiter were startled when they saw Whis mysteriously appear near them, and they looked at Whis with caution. When did this guy show up? What is he doing here? Are you pulling out this sword? Do you need my help? Whis asked. Supreme Kai said nothing. I know you are the subordinate of that cat. Jebet said coldly. Oh my, calling you a subordinate is so unpleasant. I am Lord Beerus's follower. My name is Whis. Whis said with a smile. Aren't followers and subordinates the same thing? Jebet wiped the sweat off his face. Supreme Kai remained silent. This sword looks very heavy, no wonder you can't pull it out. Whis looked at the sword stuck in the ground and walked towards it. Humph, stop standing there and talking. You sound like you can pull it out. Jebet smiled lightly. This is a divine sword, and the most outstanding sword in the Supreme Kai world. Several Supreme Kai masters have been unable to pull it out. Supreme Kai added. Let me try. Whis immediately became interested and stepped forward to grasp the hilt of the sword with 2 fingers. Bang! Whis pulled out the holy sword in one go. Supreme Kai's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. Jebet was so frightened that cold sweat broke out on his face and his whole body was shaking. This is unscientific. You pulled out the sword with just 2 fingers? Who are you? Oh my, I pulled it out just now. Whis said with a smile, actually, you can pull it out with 1 finger, but that goes against the laws of physics. Supreme Kai. Jebet. What AFG physical phenomenon? Lord Beerus's seal was pretty good. So many years have passed, an old Supreme Kai is really pitiful. Whis sighed while holding the magic sword. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying. Supreme Kai looked at Whis with a wary look. The Supreme Kai before the 15th generation is sealed in here. Find some time to break this sword and release him. Let him teach you some Supreme Kai knowledge. Whis said, and with a light wave of his hand, an invisible angel power covered the sword. Supreme Kai and Jepitel were both a little confused. What are you talking about? Why don't we understand what you mean? I have reduced the weight of the sword so that you can lift it with your current strength. Whis said, handing the hilt of the sword to Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai took the sword with a confused look on his face. By the way, what is Supreme Kai going to do with Majin Buu now that he's taken him away? Whis asked. Of course we're going to send him back to where he came from and keep him under surveillance, Supreme Kai replied hastily. Oh my, Master Beerus thought so too. I guess there's no need for me to do anything unnecessary. Whis nodded vigorously. Then I'll take my leave. Remember to smash the sword and let old Supreme Kai come out. Call out. After Whis finished speaking, flames as bright as stars bloomed from his body. In just a moment, Whis disappeared into the void without a trace. Supreme Kai looked at Whis in confusion, then looked at the sword in his hand, and he still hasn't come to his senses. What does it mean? Jebet, what does he mean? Supreme Kai turned and asked Jebet. Is this the holy sword? Jebet stared at the holy sword without blinking. Yes, this should be the holy sword. It feels quite heavy. Supreme Kai also looked down and handed the holy sword to Jebet. It's really heavy. Jebet took the sword and felt his hands sink. He almost dropped it. Why did he say he wanted to reduce the weight of the sword? I don't understand what he's talking about. The Supreme Kai shook his head. He also said that an old Supreme Kai is sealed inside this sword and asked us to break the sword. The old Supreme Kai was so excited inside the Excalibur. It's finally time to rebuild 1000 days. Very good. I thought I would be sealed in here forever. Whis is such a nice guy. You guys quickly smash the sword and I'll leave. Don't joke, this is the holy sword. If we break it, can we be worthy of those Supreme Kai masters? Jupiter said confidently. You're right, Jepitel. Supreme Kai's expression became serious, Perhaps there is a demon sealed in here, a guy more terrifying than Majin Buu. Old Supreme Kai. Your sister. You are the devil. Besides, even if he wants to break the sword, he can easily crush it with one finger with his strength, right? Jebbit followed Supreme Kai's analysis, but why didn't he break the sword, but let us do it instead? This shows that whoever breaks the sword may be retaliated by the devil. Chapter 69. You're absolutely right, Jebbit. Supreme Kai nodded vigorously. It's possible that we are worrying too much. Jebbit smiled. Old Supreme Kai. You two bastards. Let me out now. But that guy named Whis is indeed very powerful. I really don't know who he is. Supreme Kai said in a deep voice. Let's just ignore him for now, Supreme Kai. Jupiter suggested, our most important task now is to destroy the devil Majin Buu. You're right, Jebbit. Supreme Kai nodded. Anyway, if an old Supreme Kai is sealed in this sword, then when this sword is stabbed in, the old Supreme Kai will definitely kill Majin Buu with his infinite divine power. Jebbit speculated, if it is a demon sealed, the two demons devour each other, fighting poison with poison, and Majin Buu will be killed, right? Jebbit, I thought you had a very clever mind. Supreme Kai praised him highly. Then let's go now. Swish. The two quickly appeared at the ceiling location of Majin Buu. Supreme Kai holds the sword in his hand. Just stab him to death. Supreme Kai gritted his teeth and stabbed the sword in his hand into the seal. Originally, Majin Buu's seal had been reinforced by Beerus because of Beerus. Beerus reinforced it into a seal with some destructive energy. The holy sword was also a seal made by Beerus. If you use ordinary objects to poke Majin Buu's seal, it may not be able to be broken. But Excalibur is different. Both objects were sealed by Beerus. Therefore, the magic sword pierced into the seal as easily as cutting tofu. Majin Buu is sleeping soundly inside the seal. The stab went straight into Majin Buu's anus. Ouch! Majin Buu roared in pain at that moment. What's going on, Lord Supreme Kai? Jupiter asked quickly. I was able to poke some flesh. Supreme Kai nodded, he must have been hit. Just stab him to death, said Jebbit. You're right. Supreme Kai thrust the sword hard into him again. Ah! Majin Buu roars loudly. However, because it is inside the seal, people outside can't hear anything. Majin Buu cried out in pain. You cat person! I'm not done with you. Why do you always torture me? You even spared my chrysanthemum. Majin Buu subconsciously thought that it was Beerus torturing him. After all, as far as Majin Buu knows, he should still be on the planet Beerus. Therefore, Majin Buu had no intention of leaving immediately. If I go out and can't beat them, I'd better not go looking for trouble. It's okay, my chrysanthemums will regenerate. Killed him? Asked Jebbit. I don't know. Supreme Kai shook his head, it seems like there is no movement. Wait a little longer. Once the divine power or magic power on the sword is released, we will definitely be able to kill Majin Buu. Jepitel said. The two of them just kept waiting outside. Majin Buu. Why aren't you moving? If you don't move, I'll feel uncomfortable. Sneak out and take a look. Majin Buu decided to go out and take a look. So shameless. This thing feels very uncomfortable inside my body. You better get it out quickly. Majin Buu immediately separated out a small piece of flesh for himself and squirmed out from the position of the holy sword. Majin Buu poked the holy sword into the sealed entrance and looked out secretly. There is no such cat. This guy outside looks a bit like Supreme Kai. The other one seems to be a servant of Supreme Kai. It doesn't seem like this is the cat's planet either. I'm still worried, so I'll go check it out again. Majin Buu is only the size of a little finger. At that moment, he turned into a mini Buu and quickly flew high into the sky. Still no sight of the cat. Majin Buu was still not at ease, as he was really scared by Beerus, so he simply searched around the Supreme Kai world carefully. After more than an hour of exploration, Majin Buu was certain that the cat is not here. The cat is not here, so why should I be afraid of anything? It's been an hour. He should be dead this time, right? Supreme Kai. Jepitel smiled. It's true that there has been no response for an hour. Supreme Kai nodded with relief. Swish, swish, swish. Pink gas suddenly spurted out from the seal. The pink gas quickly gathered in the air. The mini Majin Buu also turned into a flame and quickly fused with the pink gas. The pink gas in the sky is condensing and deforming. What's going on? Jebi was stunned. Supreme Kai's expression changed again and again, and he looked up at the sky. What is going on? Why do I feel like that guy is Majin Buu? Why didn't you kill him? Supreme Kai, this is... Jupiter's face was also full of shock and anxiety. I feel like Majin Buu too. How so? Bang! Just when Supreme Kai and Jupiter were a little stunned, Majin Buu finally turned back into his original chubby appearance and floated in the air, looking at Supreme Kai and Jupiter below with a smile. Supreme Kai was terrified. Jebi was also completely confused. Hey, who poked me just now? Buu said with a dark face. Neither Supreme Kai nor Jepitel responded to the question. Damn it! How did this guy come back to life? Supreme Kai gritted his teeth, and not knowing where he got the courage from, he pulled out the magic sword that was inserted into the seal. Is it you? Buu asked coldly. Yes, it's me. Supreme Kai shouted. Why didn't you move after you came in? Buu scolded angrily. Supreme Kai had a face full of question marks. What does it mean? What can you do if you move? Forget it, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat you all. Buu patted his stomach. Since one sword can't kill him, then stab him again. Supreme Kai said, and stabbed Majin Buu with a fierce sword. Turn into chocolate chip cookies. The tentacles on Buu's head flashed a purple-white light. The light quickly hit Supreme Kai. Bang! Supreme Kai's body quickly changed shape. In just a moment, Supreme Kai turned into a human-shaped chocolate cookie. Bang! The sword in Supreme Kai's hand fell to the ground. Supreme Kai! Jepitel was shocked and angry, his whole body trembling. Majin Buu stepped forward and picked up the Supreme Kai that had turned into a chocolate cookie, and ate it in one bite. Chapter 70. Crack! Crack! Majin Buu ate this chocolate cookie. It feels so good. Majin Buu patted his belly, feeling so good. I haven't had anything delicious to eat since I woke up. Now I finally got what I wanted. But it's not enough to eat them all together. What should I turn you into? Candy or chocolate biscuits? Or just chocolate? Buu looked at Jupiter thoughtfully. An expression of endless fear appeared on Jebit's face. Were you the one who stabbed me with the sword just now? Buu suddenly noticed the holy sword lying on the ground. Then, Majin Buu hooked his finger at the holy sword. The magic sword swayed and floated in the air. Majin Buu! This sword is a bit heavy. But it doesn't matter. Call out! Majin Buu waved his hand gently as if he was using sword control techniques. The sword in his hand whizzed towards the direction where Jebit was. Puff! The holy sword directly penetrated Jebit's body, giving Jebit a chill. Puff! Blood gushed out of Jebit's mouth, and he fell limply to the ground, his consciousness becoming increasingly blurred. I didn't poke you. Turn into chocolate. Buu said as the tentacles on his head flashed purple and white. Bang! Jebit quickly condensed and transformed, turning into a square of chocolate. The chocolate still had its wrapper on it. It's just that the shape of the chocolate is a bit weird. There is also a sword-shaped chocolate stuck on the chocolate. Bang! The chocolate rolled to the ground. Buu walked over and picked up the chocolate, holding it up and looking at it. How come the sword also turned into chocolate? How strange! Majin Buu gently squeezed the sword that turned into chocolate. Crack! There was only a crisp sound, and the sword broke into pieces. Excalibur took off his coat, revealing a human-shaped chocolate. It's still chocolate-filled. Buu felt so weird. But Buu didn't think much about it. Buu stuffed the 2 pieces of chocolate into his mouth, chewed them up and ate them. It's so enjoyable. Buu laughed. Boom! Buu suddenly blasted a stream of energy out of his mouth. The energy hit the ground of the Supreme Kai world. In an instant, a huge mushroom cloud rolled up above the earth. Ha 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 ha! Majin Buu danced with joy. It's so fun here. Planet Beerus. Whis had just returned and had not been here for long when he suddenly realized something. Whis let out a long sigh. Whis, what's wrong with you? Asked the prophecy fish. Oh no, something big happened. Whis wiped the sweat off his face. What happened? The prophecy fish was stunned. Lord Beerus may have disappeared. Whis said. What? What happened? The prophecy fish quickly flew into the sky, followed the castle window, and looked towards Beerus' bed. Sure enough, there was nothing on the bed. Beerus is gone. Hey, Whis, Beerus is gone. The prophecy fish exclaimed, is he playing hide and seek with us? Whis. Supreme Kai Sama died, and therefore, Beerus Sama disappeared with him. Whis sighed. What? Lord Supreme Kai is dead? How is that possible? The prophecy fish widened its eyes, showing a look of disbelief. That's the truth. I am somewhat responsible for saying this. Whis sighed, feeling a little guilty. If I hadn't done that, maybe Lord Beerus wouldn't have disappeared. What on earth are you talking about, Whis? Asked the prophecy fish curiously. Whis had no choice but to use the projection of the scepter to show the prophecy fish how he pulled out the sword and what happened in the Supreme Kai world after he left. Prophecy fish. It's not your fault. Whis. The prophecy fish showed a helpless look. How did such a stupid Supreme Kai survive until now? It's because the great Supreme Kai died early, and there was a gap in the inheritance of the Supreme Kai. It's normal that this Supreme Kai doesn't know about this. Whis said. I don't know if I can learn it. The problem is, he doesn't believe you. The prophetic fish wiped his sweat. The most pitiful one is the old Supreme Kai who was sealed by Lord Beerus. He was also eaten. By the way, you quickly use the time reversal to restore the time to 5 minutes ago. It's too late. Half an hour has passed. Whis shook his head. The prophecy fish stopped talking. Such a pitiful Mr. Beerus. Just disappeared. Oh my, looks like I have to go look for new gods of destruction and Supreme Kai. Whis said helplessly, before I fall asleep. I'm sorry, I didn't predict that Lord Beerus would disappear. The prophecy fish felt a little guilty. It's not your fault. Your predictions are rarely accurate anyway. Whis smiled. Prophecy fish. Then I will go look for the new gods of destruction and Supreme Kai now. Whis's expression became serious. If I don't decide soon, I will fall into a deep sleep. Yet. The prophecy fish nodded. Before that, I'll have a bottle of Coke first. Whis said, taking out a bottle of Coke and taking a sip. It tastes really good. How can there be such a delicious drink? Prophecy fish. I feel like gods of destruction is gone, and you're not nervous at all. But think about it. Originally, the existence of Lord Beerus was somewhat meaningless. He sleeps all day and doesn't go to work. The same is true for Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai's favorite job is to monitor Majin Buu's every move. Bu has been sealed, what's the point of you still monitoring him? In other words, gods of destruction and Supreme Kai have not existed in our 7th universe for a long time. How did our universe survive to this day? The prophetic fish sighed. After Whis finished drinking the Coke, he immediately set off. Half an hour later, Whis landed at the door of Zeno's temple. After waiting for a moment, Grand Priest appeared in front of Whis in an instant. Greetings, Grand Priest. I'm sorry to bother you so much. Whis bowed. What do you want to talk to me about? Grand Priest asked expressionlessly, with his hands behind his back, floating directly opposite Whis. I'm sorry, Grand Priest. Because of my negligence, the Supreme Kai of our universe was killed by Majin Buu, and Beerus disappeared with him, so I came here to report to you. Whis explained to the Grand Priest. Are you looking for new gods of destruction and Supreme Kai? Asked the Grand Priest. Yes, Grand Priest. Whis nodded. The gods of destruction and Supreme Kai of the new universe are both from Lu Fan of your 7th universe. The real reason you came to me is that you want Lu Fan to take over the Supreme Kai and gods of destruction of the 7th universe, right? Wow, you figured it out. Whis nodded. Chapter 71. If Lu Fan takes over as gods of destruction of the 7th universe, then you can drink Coke every day. Grand Priest smiled. Excuse me, Grand Priest. Oh, I am indeed a little greedy. The Coke is really delicious. Whis did not deny it. There has never been a precedent of the gods of destruction ruling over 2 universes. Grand Priest pondered, you can ask him. This guy may not agree. Let me think about what to say. Whis held his chin in thought. What if this is a necessary process to become the great gods of destruction? The Grand Priest lowered his voice. Whis looked up at the Grand Priest and nodded vigorously. My dear father, you are setting a hole for Lu Fan to jump into. Maybe Lu Fan is very happy. Yu and Vados communicated with each other in front of Lu Fan and told him about the great gods of destruction. The performance was very successful. Grand Priest nodded with satisfaction. If Lu Fan knew there is no such thing as the great gods of destruction, I don't know what would happen. Whis smiled bitterly. My dear father, you have dug too deep a hole. That depends on his strength. The legend of the great gods of destruction has actually been spread among the gods of destruction in the universe a long time ago. This is also done to allow these gods of destruction to practice well. The Grand Priest smiled and said seriously, but then again, this kid is indeed suitable to be a god of destruction. If he does well, it is not a bad idea to give him the title of Great Gods of Destruction in the future. Then I'll go talk to Lu Fan about the 7th Universe Gods of Destruction. Whis responded. Go ahead. The Grand Priest did not object. As for what happened in the 7th Universe, Grand Priest already knew it clearly. As the steward of all the gods in the universe. If you don't even know this, it would be a bit unreasonable. Whis bowed again. Knock. Whis tapped the scepter in his hand lightly on the ground. Call out. Whis turned into a beam of light as bright as a star, quickly sank into the void, and soon disappeared without a trace. The 6th Universe, the planet Kampa. Lu Fan is learning some basic skills and common sense of Supreme Kai from Vados. Vados was speechless. Lu Fan, you'd better let Lord Fuwa teach you about this kind of thing. After all, he is the Supreme Kai of our 6th Universe. If you let him teach you, you can learn faster. Vados taught Lu Fan for a while and sighed softly. No, I want to learn from you. Lu Fan shook his head decisively. It is a real pleasure to learn from Vados. What is there to learn from Supreme Kai Foi? In fact, Lu Fan feels that learning is not important, what is important is the learning process. Leading. To be honest, I haven't learned some of the skills and basic knowledge of Supreme Kai for a long time. Although I was considered Supreme Kai's teacher billions of years ago, after so many years, I basically don't have to teach Supreme Kai anymore. Vados sighed. You don't have to say so much. I don't have much to learn. Just teach me 3 things. Lu Fan grinned. Tell me about it, Vados asked. Instant transmission, space-time ring, and Patara earrings. Lu Fan said. Instant transmission, that's easy to explain. It actually means transforming yourself into a form of energy and using this energy to travel through time, Vados explained. Why not gods of destruction? Lu Fan asked. That's because the gods of destruction prohibit the use of instant transmission. Vados replied, Angel, the same is true. Let me try. Lu Fan took a deep breath and exhaled a bubble of destructive energy. Leading. Call out. Lu Fan turned into a purple-red flame and disappeared in an instant. Swish. Another moment later, Lu Fan came back. I got it. Lu Fan said. Leading. Vados wiped the sweat off his face vigorously. Have you learned instant transmission now? You learned too fast. I haven't taught you much. This kid is truly a genius. No, it's a monster. I now deeply doubt that if there really is such a thing as the great gods of destruction, this kid was born to become the great god of destruction. No, he is now learning the skills of Supreme Kai. How did I get involved with gods of destruction? Vados felt his mind was a little confused. As long as the eyes can see, it can be transmitted instantly, right? Lu Fan pondered. Yes, the Supreme Kai's eyes can see very far away, and they can observe the entire universe without any problem. Vados nodded, and the eyes also have the ability of perspective, such as passing through a wall or something. Lu Fan looked at Vados without blinking. Leading. Don't look at me. Bang. The power of Angel emerges from Vados. Lu Fan's eyes blurred, and some secrets about Vados disappeared before his eyes. Vados, you are so stingy, just take a look. Lu Fan sighed. Vados was speechless. Next are the Patara earrings and the space-time ring. These 2 items are actually not difficult to obtain. Just like when you condense destruction, you can condense these 2 items just by thinking about them in your mind. Vados explained. Why bother? Wouldn't it be better to just rob? Lu Fan grinned. Leading. The Supreme Kai of the 6th Universe is in that location. Yes, I have seen it. Lu Fan looked in the direction of the Supreme Kai of the 6th universe. Vados, wait for me here. I will be back soon. Hey, wait a minute. Vados wiped his sweat. Are you going to steal Lord Foy's Potara earrings and time-space ring? Swish. Before Vados could finish his words, Lu Fan disappeared via instant transmission. Leading. Should I give Lord Foy a heads up first? Let's just forget it. I feel like there's no point in saying it. The 6th universe, the Supreme Kai world. The Supreme Kai of the 6th universe is named Fuwa. He is chubby and his body shape is somewhat similar to Kampa. Foy was planting flowers on the planet at this time. Suddenly, Fuwa felt a chill on his back. What happened? Who is behind me? Fuwa turned his head mechanically, wanting to see what was happening behind him. Bang! Lu Fan had no reason to be polite and slapped Fuwa on the back of his neck. Foy fainted on the spot. Lu Fan hooked her fingers at Fuwa's 2 Potara earrings. Bang! The 2 Potara earrings appeared above Lu Fan's palm. Chapter 72. Well, clean them. They're a little dirty on your ears. Lu Fan muttered, and a flash of energy appeared in his hand, cleaning the 2 earrings clean. Then, Lu Fan put the 2 Potara earrings on her ears. And the ring. Lu Fan glanced at Fuwa's hands. This guy is not wearing a time and space ring. Yes, who wears a time and space ring for no reason? It should be placed in the palace. Lu Fan looked in the direction of the palace. Swish! The next moment, Lu Fan used instant transmission again and appeared in the palace in just a moment. Lu Fan easily found the time and space ring in the palace. Lu Fan naturally took it for himself. Then Lu Fan used another instant transmission and left the Supreme Kai world in a swagger, returning to the Gods of Destruction world. Okay, now everything is ready. Lu Fan said with a smile. Vados didn't know what to say. Lord Foy, what sin have you committed? Lord Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai's followers discovered the unconscious Supreme Kai only after Lu Fan left, and immediately rushed up. The followers revived Supreme Kai. Fuwa scratched his head, looking confused. I seem to have fainted. Fuwa murmured. How did you faint? Lord Supreme Kai, the attendant asked hurriedly with concern. It's like someone suddenly broke into our Supreme Kai world, appeared behind me, and knocked me out when I was off guard. Supreme Kai murmured. Is there such a thing? Who is so bold? The follower exclaimed. I don't know. Fuwa shook his head in confusion. Has Lord Supreme Kai offended anyone recently? Asked the attendant. We are the creators of this universe, so we shouldn't offend anyone. Fuwa shook his head slightly. Last time, Supreme Kai forgot to pay when he had a meal on planet Shadara. Could it be that those scions are keeping an eye on him? The follower guessed. No, the scions are all righteous people, they are not so petty. Fuwa thought it was unlikely, besides, they don't know instant transmission, and it is even more impossible for them to come to the Supreme Kai world of our 6th universe. Could it be that the Supreme Kai from other universes came to attack Lord Supreme Kai? Asked the follower. But, I haven't had any close contact with the Supreme Kai from any other universe recently. That doesn't make sense. Fuwa shook his head and sighed. Well, Lord Supreme Kai, please check quickly to see if you find anything missing. The follower suddenly thought of something and asked hurriedly. Fuwa touched his pocket and found that nothing was missing. Potara earrings. The attendant suddenly noticed that the earring on Foy's ear was missing. What? Hey? Were my earrings stolen? Fuwa quickly touched his ears. It is true. Is that man here to steal the earrings? The follower exclaimed. I have a bad feeling about this. Fuwa shook his head. As for the earrings, I'll just make one myself. Look again, is there anything else lost? The follower continued. Fuwa picked up and checked carefully, and it seemed that nothing was missing except the earrings. Pay attention to the entire universe recently and see if anyone uses the Potara earring fusion. Fuwa instructed. Yes. Lord Supreme Kai, the follower responded. Planet Kampa. Lu Fan had just returned and not long ago, he saw a beam of light as bright as a star appearing in the distant sky. Hey? Isn't that Whis? He finished the coke so quickly. Lu Fan was slightly stunned. Vados also looked at Whis that appeared in the sky with some surprise. Why are you here again? Bang! Whis fell from the sky and landed next to Lu Fan. Whis, is there something wrong? Lu Fan asked. Oh my, something big happened in the 7th universe. Whis sighed. Is Beerus dead? Lu Fan asked casually. Whis. Whis was silent. Ahem, did I get it right? Lu Fan wiped the sweat off his face. Are you kidding? Is Beerus really dead? Who killed him? Lu Fan was speechless for a while. I was born a little early. I don't understand your plot. How could Beerus die? This is what happened, because of Supreme Kai. Whis had no choice but to show what happened at that time and the projection of the scene. After watching the projection, Lu Fan leading. The two looked at each other and sighed. Lu Fan looked even more helpless. Someone seemed to have said before that Supreme Kai might bring about his own death. Whis sighed. I think I said that. Lu Fan wiped the sweat off his face. Whis, you came to see Lu Fan, aren't you asking him to be the gods of destruction of the 7th universe? Vados quickly understood what Whis meant. Yes, that's what I mean. Whis nodded. At present, the most suitable candidate for the 7th universe to serve as gods of destruction is you, Lu Fan. No, I'm already the gods of destruction of the new universe. Lu Fan shook his head vigorously. I enjoy having such a beautiful Rose by my side. You see, my real body is with Rose, and this clone is here with Vados. I feel like I'm about to reach the peak of my life. Whis. Leading. You can hold both positions. Whis said. Part-time job. Lu Fan was stunned. What's the benefit? This is equivalent to working 2 jobs. No, 4 jobs, 2 Supreme Kai and 2 gods of destruction. I have already consulted the Grand Priest, and he agreed. Whis lowered his voice and said, the Grand Priest also said that this is the only way to become a great god of destruction. Starting from 2 universes, we will be in charge of the work of the gods of destruction, and gradually develop to 3 universes, 4 universes, or even 12 universes. Lu Fan seemed to be a little moved. Only if the great gods of destruction is familiar with the 12 universes can he better manage the gods of destruction of these universes. Whis smiled. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lu Fan nodded vigorously. You've successfully convinced me. So, Lu Fan, you agree? Whis asked. Calling you brother-in-law is disrespectful, Lu Fan scolded. Whis. You can always kill the conversation. Okay, since my brother-in-law asked me to help, I will do it with great reluctance. Lu Fan dragged out the words, paused for a second or two, and added, then I will reluctantly find a suitable gods of destruction and Supreme Kai for you. Whis was stunned. Ahem. I mean to let you, brother-in-law, serve as both the gods of destruction and Supreme Kai of the 7th universe. After all, you are someone who walked out of the 7th universe. Whis explained, also, there is currently no strong person in the entire 7th universe to support the throne of the new gods of destruction. Chapter 73. You know what, I really have a suitable candidate. As long as he is trained well, it won't be a problem for him to become the gods of destruction of the 7th universe in the future. Lu Fan grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Who is it? Whis was stunned and asked. Thinking. Lu Fan murmured. Whis. Leading. Your thinking makes us want to hit someone. Brother-in-law, are you sure you don't want to concurrently serve as the gods of destruction of the 7th universe? Whis asked, wiping the sweat off his face. Yes, I didn't say I wouldn't. Lu Fan replied. Whis was a little confused. Why can't I understand what you are saying? You've got me dizzy. What I mean is, I will serve as the gods of destruction of the 7th universe, but I will do my best to the end. I will train you a new gods of destruction and Supreme Kai. Lu Fan smiled. So that's how it is. Whis finally understood. I'm pretty good to your brother-in-law, right? Lu Fan stepped forward and patted Whis' shoulder. Woo woo, okay, if that's the case, that would be great. Whis nodded. When I have trained the new gods of destruction and Supreme Kai, remember to introduce your sister to me. Lu Fan lowered his voice and whispered to Whis. Whis. You already have my sister, isn't that enough for you? So, let's talk about this. Am I the younger brother-in-law or the older brother-in-law? Leading. I heard it all. Just do whatever you want. I don't know which of my sister you like. Is it Makarita? Or Rose? If it's Ruosi's case, isn't your real body with her? It seems that there is no need for Whis to introduce it. So that's Makarita. No wonder you kept looking towards Universe 11 during the Gods of Destruction contest. It turns out that he had been thinking about Makarita for a long time. Vados sighed, feeling helpless. My sister? Who is she? Whis was also slightly stunned, and asked himself, is it Makarita? Yet, you really understand me, brother-in-law. Lu Fan patted Whis's shoulder vigorously. Vados fell silent. Whis just wiped the sweat off his face. In the divine world, polygamy is allowed, right? Lu Fan asked. You wish? Vados roared angrily. It seems, there is no rule about monogamy. Whis thought. Whis. Vados glared. Wow, it's a happy decision then. Whis nodded with satisfaction. Yeah, come on. Lu Fan stepped forward and shook Vados' hand. Leading. Shouldn't you have gone over Whis's hand by now? What does it mean when you take this opportunity to hold my hand? You go back first. I'll keep an eye on the 7th universe. Lu Fan ordered, and then lowered his voice and said, Whis, when you introduce your sister to me, I'll make sure there's plenty of coke. Whis' eyes lit up at that moment. Brother-in-law, I'll take you to the 11th universe. Whis asked. Vados simply stopped talking. Are you selling out your macaroni for a few bottles of coke? I'm still young, let's talk about it in a few years. Lu Fan groaned. You just realized, you are still underage. Vados wiped the sweat off his face. Whis. Yeah. You are not yet an adult. Are you thinking about Makarita so quickly? By the way, before you go back, I'll give you a try of this lemon-flavored drink. Lu Fan said, raising his big hand slightly upwards, and a can of drink appeared in his hand. The packaging is green, which is very different from the color of Coke's packaging. I took a sip of the Whis drink. Oh my god! It tastes as good as Coke. And there are 2 different flavors. I always feel that letting this guy be the Gods of Destruction is a bit of a waste of talent. It would be great if you could be a beverage mixologist. I haven't named this bottle of lemon-flavored soda yet. As for the naming fee, just 1 universe will be enough. Lu Fan said with a smile. Whis. Leading. They both wiped their sweat together. You are so shameless. The naming fee is a universe. Okay, I'll find some time to ask which universe is willing to give up the Gods of Destruction spot. Whis said perfunctorily. I'll learn some more Supreme Kai skills from Vados, and then I'll go to the 7th universe to find you. Lu Fan greeted, it won't take long, maybe 2 or 3 months. Okay, for us angels, 2 or 3 months is just a blink of an eye. Whis nodded. It's just 2 or 3 months, we can still wait. Even if it's 2 or 3 years, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the 7th universe is already like that. Even if Master Beerus and Master Supreme Kai hadn't disappeared, the 2 of them wouldn't go to work. Now the comprehensive index of our 7th universe is almost at the bottom. I hope that after Lu Fan comes, the overall index of our universe can be improved. Goodbye, then. Whis waved. Call out. Whis tapped the ground lightly with the scepter in his hand, and it turned into a star-like bright flame, which soon disappeared without a trace. After Whis left, Vados looked at Lu Fan without saying a word. Vados, do you think I'm handsome? That's why you're secretly looking at me. Lu Fan said with a smile. Leading. There was a brief silence. Have you really decided to go to Universe 7 and serve as both Gods of Destruction and Supreme Kai? Vados asked. Am I the kind of person who would lie? Of course I have to carry out what I say. Lu Fan nodded. No, I mean, it's great that this way I can have some peace and quiet for a while. Vados smiled. It looks like you've had enough drinks. Lu Fan sighed. Hee, yeah, yes. I've been drinking the same drink for a long time. It's obviously not realistic to say that I haven't had enough. Vados said with a smile. It doesn't matter. Before I leave, I will develop a new type of beverage. I want you to think of me all the time. Lu Fan said. Leading. Suddenly I felt that he was not fooling me. 3 months later. Lu Fan pressed a bottle of orange-flavored carbonated drink into Vados's hand. Vados, you've worked hard over the past 3 months. Consider this bottle of drink a souvenir, Lu Fan said. Leading. Ahem, okay, I'll take it. I'll drink it. Vados nodded. Well, goodbye. Lu Fan waved. Kampa. What about me? Why don't you give me one of the new drinks? Hey, boy, give me one bottle too. Kampa said hurriedly. Swish. Just as Kampa finished speaking, Lu Fan disappeared via instant transmission. Chapter 74. Kampa felt unwell. This guy has no respect for me at all. Especially after he became the Supreme Kai of the new universe, his disrespect for me became even worse. Boy, if you don't give me the new drink, you'd better not let me see you. Vados watched Lu Fan leave and breathed a sigh of relief. Finally got rid of this shameless guy. Let him go and harm Whis immediately. Vados felt in a good mood. He hummed a tune, opened the orange-flavored carbonated drink, and took a sip. Vados felt as if she had been electrocuted, and her body trembled slightly. Hey, wait a minute Lu Fan, I think your Supreme Kai skills should be further deepened. Vados called out. But Lu Fan can no longer hear it. The seventh universe, the world of gods of destruction. Since Beerus disappeared, the planet Beerus was renamed the Gods of Destruction World. If Beerus isn't even there, why is it still called the Beerus planet? In fact, it doesn't matter whether the name is changed or not. For Whis, it's just sitting around doing nothing anyway. It's good to change your name and mood. Whis, it's been 3 months. When will the new Supreme Kai you mentioned come? Asked the prophecy fish. It will be soon. Whis murmured. What about the gods of destruction? Is it only the new Supreme Kai who will take the throne? The prophecy fish asked again. As for gods of destruction, we can wait. Frisia is currently working hard for Lord Beerus and has destroyed many planets. He can simply make up for the lack of gods of destruction. Whis smiled, what we lack most now is Supreme Kai. Lord Supreme Kai has hardly worked hard during his years in office. There are many planets with life in our universe, but only a few planets with intelligent humans. If this continues, the universe will face huge problems. Actually, Supreme Kai is the easy choice, right? The hard part is choosing gods of destruction, said the prophetic fish. This Lord Lu Fan said that he would train a new gods of destruction for us in our universe. Whis explained. Supreme Kai wants to train gods of destruction, what kind of logic is this? The prophecy fish shook his head, not knowing what to say. They were silent together. Hey, Whis, didn't I hear there's something called Super Dragon Ball that can make any wish come true? The prophecy fish asked, don't you want to revive Lord Beerus? Wow, Lord Beerus is sleeping even after he was resurrected, and Lord Supreme Kai is staring at Majin Buu all day. I think our universe should get some fresh blood. Once the universe returns to normal and the overall score is raised, it won't be too late to find a way to resurrect Lord Beerus. Whis said. In this case, if we resurrect Lord Supreme Kai, Lord Beerus will come back with him, right? Asked the prophecy fish. That's right. Whis nodded. He slept himself to death. What sin has Lord Beerus committed? The prophecy fish sighed, I hope the new Supreme Kai can be more reliable. He's here. Whis smiled. Is it here? The prophecy fish also had a look of surprise on its face. Swish. Lu Fan used instant transmission and appeared in the Gods of Destruction world of the 7th universe in just a moment. The next moment, Lu Fan's figure appeared in front of the prophecy fish and Whis. Lu Fan wore Supreme Kai clothing, 2 Patara earrings on her ears, and a time-space ring on her index finger. Fully equipped. This is Lu Fan's clone. This clone is remotely controlled by the original body. It's like playing a game. You control a character in the game and can do whatever you want through this character's perspective. Therefore, this clone of Lu Fan does not have independent thoughts. To put it bluntly, Lu Fan's clone is just a body condensed from destructive energy. It can be said that Lu Fan's clone has reached the state of immortality. Just a ball of energy. Even if it is broken up, it can be put together again. As for destroying all this destructive energy, that doesn't matter. Just condense a ball of destructive energy again. The premise is, Lu Fan's real body is still alive. When the prophecy fish saw Lu Fan for the first time, it was stunned for a moment, its eyes wide open with a look of shock. Greetings. Greetings. Great gods of destruction. no. Supreme Kai. The prophecy fish stuttered. Whis glanced at the prophecy fish in confusion. Has this fish been predicted? Is Lu Fan really the future gods of destruction? Isn't the great gods of destruction just a gimmick? Has the gimmick become a real thing? That's not right. When has the prediction of the prophetic fish ever been correct? Don't dwell on these things. Well, this fish is pretty cute. Lu Fan stepped forward and gently patted the little head of the prophecy fish, and conjured up a bottle of Coke. Here, this is your reward. Thank you, Lord Supreme Kai. The prophecy fish happily took the Coke, opened it and took a sip. The prophecy fish jumped happily in the fish tank after taking a sip of Coke. It's delicious. This is the first time I've had such a delicious drink. The prophet fish was surprised and happy, and glared at Whis. Whis, you're so mean. You didn't even let me drink any of those bottles of Coke. I thought they didn't taste good. Oh my, the weather is so nice today. Whis looked around and said something else. Whis, as agreed, today I will take over the position of Supreme Kai of the 7th universe. Lu Fan said. Okay, Master Lu Fan, the 7th universe will be in your hands from now on. Whis said politely. No problem. Lu Fan nodded, since I am in charge of the lives of 2 universes, I will also find a way to make the 2 universes better connected. Okay. Whis nodded without objection. It is also a good thing that the new universe and the 7th universe can be connected together. In this way, a batch of fresh blood will enter the 7th universe. This is also one of the many reasons why Whis invited Lu Fan to serve as the 7th universe Supreme Kai. Then I'll go to universe first. Lu Fan groaned. I'll go with you. Whis suggested. No, I'll go by myself. Lu Fan smiled. I know instant transmission, so it's more convenient to move. You fly too slowly. Whis. I am an angel, but I am still disliked. Swish. Lu Fan left the place via instant transmission in a flash. Lu Fan thought about it carefully and found that being a Supreme Kai was quite interesting. Supreme Kai has many magical skills, such as instant transmission. Gods of Destruction doesn't do that. Maybe, but they don't allow you to use it. What can you do? Starting from today, Lu Fan officially became the Supreme Kai of the 7th universe. Although it is a part-time job. But for Lu Fan, it didn't have much impact. Develop the universe. It just so happens that intelligent humans have not yet been born in the new universe. Since he is the Supreme Kai, Lu Fan can transfer some humans from the 7th universe to the new universe. Chapter 75. Time passed day by day. Before we know it, year after year, Lu Fan has made continuous progress through hard work, continuous learning, and continuous improvement. Lu Fan himself is studying destruction in the Gods of Destruction world of the new universe. The destruction condensed by Lu Fan is getting bigger and bigger. Lu Fan likes to see Ruoc's surprised look. Every time Ruoc saw how much destruction Lu Fan condensed, her little mouth opened slightly, which was so adorable. Ruoci was also speechless about this. Since you came to the new universe, you haven't destroyed any planets. Many planets were shattered by you. Your ability to scare the planet is unmatched. And so, several decades passed. 760 AD. Lu Fan is in his 20th year as both Gods of Destruction and Supreme Kai. After 20 years of development, both the new universe and the 7th universe have been greatly improved. The 7th universe, a certain planet. Lu Fan, the Supreme Kai, is cultivating life on this planet. In fact, nurturing life is not as dirty as some people imagine. Supreme Kai simply transfers life from other planets to this planet, giving life on this planet a chance. This is like the ancient myth of Noah's Ark. A lot of life was taken away from the Earth and transferred to other planets via the Ark. After becoming Supreme Kai, Lu Fan felt that Noah's Ark might be a way for Supreme Kai to transfer lives and give life on other planets a start. It's okay. This planet has shown initial results. Lu Fan looked around with satisfaction. Just as Lu Fan was about to leave, he suddenly heard a voice nearby. Your Highness Vegeta, we landed on this planet specifically to restock our supplies. Are we going to capture planet Kyukat next? Lu Fan paused slightly. Lu Fan patted his forehead, and suddenly remembered. This is the FG Dragon Ball world. Without hearing Vegeta's name, Lu Fan had even forgotten that he had come to the Dragon Ball world. I have worked so hard these years. In addition, Vegeta and Son Goku are still young, so Lu Fan has never looked for them. Now Lu Fan heard someone calling Vegeta, and he felt a little emotional. By the way, is it still too late to train Vegeta now? I promised Whis that I would find a new gods of destruction and supreme Kai for the 7th universe. I didn't expect that I was so absorbed in my work that I forgot about this matter. And after Lu Fan's hard work, the overall rating of the 7th universe has increased rapidly in the past 20 years. In just 20 years, the overall score of the 7th universe reached 3rd among all universes. New universes not included in the ranking. The new universe is still small. Overall, it is less than 1/1000th of other universes. Such a small universe is not easy to manage. If we really want to rank the comprehensive rating index, new universe is definitely number 1. To put it bluntly, it's because it's too small. Being small has its advantages, and it is easy to manage and monitor. However, it is not easy for Lu Fan to raise the overall score of the 7th universe to 3rd among all universes. Now the 1st universe ranks first in the comprehensive score of all universe rankings. The 2nd place in the comprehensive score is the 8th universe. Lu Fan has worked hard these years just to get 1st place. But it is really difficult to get 1st place. Because you are working hard, the gods of the 1st universe and the 8th universe are also working hard. Then, the 3 parties just rolled up. In addition to these 3 universes, the 5th universe and the 12th universe are also in the volume. The 12th universe was originally ranked 3rd, but was squeezed out by the 7th universe. It was very unhappy and worked even harder. The comprehensive index of the 5th universe and the 12th universe is not very different, and both sides are often either 3rd or 3rd. As a result, the 7th universe took the 3rd place. These 2 universes were chasing closely behind, and even surpassed the 7th universe at one point. So, these 5 universes are rolling and rolling. The comprehensive index has already left other universes far behind. Lu Fan thought that if he continued to roll like this, he could just clean up the remaining universe Zeno. There's also a wool power conference going on. Vegeta, it's difficult to capture planet Kyukit, aren't we a little short in numbers? Raditz asked. Raditz is right. The combat capability of that planet is still quite strong. It would be best to find some help. Nappa murmured. Vegeta was eating fruit nearby, ignoring the 2 of them. Vegeta, is your sparring partner Lu Fan still alive? Raditz suddenly asked. Who knows? Vegeta spat out a mouthful of fruit seeds. That guy went to work as a beverage flavorist for someone else. Beverage flavorist? Raditz was a little confused. Your Highness Vegeta, I've never heard you talk about Lu Fan before. Nappa said. Humph, nothing much to say. Vegeta threw a leftover fruit aside. Can't find him? Raditz asked again. Raditz, didn't you tell me a long time ago that you have a younger brother? Nappa murmured. I can't remember it if you don't tell me. Raditz nodded, I do have a younger brother. His name is Kakarot. It seems that my parents sent him to a planet called Earth. Earth. Vegeta looked up at the sky, and suddenly several scenes of him and Lu Fan on Earth emerged in his mind. And Namek. Only. I ran back and forth twice, but it seemed like I didn't get any of my wishes. Lu Fan is such a BD. Instead, he was given the wish to survive in the universe space. This shameless guy. I don't know if he is dead. Has his mind calmed down over the years? Can he become a Super Saiyan already? Is the Super Saiyan transformation method that the dragon described correct? Vegeta thought a lot at once. Your Highness Vegeta, what's wrong with you? Nappa looked at Vegeta strangely, are the clouds in the sky beautiful? Vegeta. Then I'll go to Earth and call Kakarot over. Although his combat capability is not very mature, if he trains well with us, I think his combat capability will improve rapidly. Raditz suggested, with Kakarot joining us, let him serve as logistics first, it will be easier to capture the planet Kyukit. Kakarot? Your brother's name is Kakarot. Vegeta was slightly stunned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.